There is one day each year when all of America gathers for one reason and one reason only. To take part in a unique celebration.
Now, Max, go left, cut right, and I'll hit you in the middle. Ready, back! Hut!
Looks over the Kansas City defense. Has an end and flanker out. Drops back to throw. Here's Rush, gets the ball away.
This is a celebration of unlikely heroes.
Passes it complete to Max McGee at the 15, and he's all alone going into the end zone.
A celebration of unimaginable upsets.
And the Jets are champions of the football world. Brad Jaws back to throw.
Of grace under pressure.
He looks and throws it in the end zone. Score! Touchdown! Touchdown, Pittsburgh! And the Wiggins good hold. He's got the first down to the 40. He's got
Explosive power.
He's gone! He's gone! And he gives the ball to Allen, starts inside, comes back in the other direction, then blows up the middle, and he may score, folks!
And of lightning speed. It is a celebration of precision.
Here's Simpson doing third down.
The will to win.
Montana is back to throw. He looks and throws end zone. Touchdown!
Of brilliant leadership.
Here's Aikman to throw on first down. His pass is deep and caught. Touchdown!
And of ultimate redemption. It is the celebration of the mere inches that can separate the heartbreak of second place.
It is complete to Tyson at the 1-yard line, and he stopped short.
From the legend that is victory. And most of all, it is an American celebration. For at its roots, this has always been an American game.
Hey, guys, the Super Bowl's on! Let's go!
Today, we determine a champion who will live forever. Because today, they play Super Bowl 35.
The time for Super Bowl 35 has come. We are in Tampa, Florida this evening to determine an ultimate winner as the Baltimore Ravens meet the New York Giants. The Super Bowl provides a stage upon which legends have at times been born, at other times confirmed. And tonight, that stage is Raymond James Stadium, packed to its limit to crown a champion. Hi, everyone. We here at CBS Sports are pleased to welcome you to Super Bowl 35. I'm Greg Gumbel, along with Phil Simms. Each of these teams has enjoyed extraordinary success this season, and that's because of the performance of key personnel. For the New York Giants, certainly the most key will probably be quarterback Kerry Collins.
Well, Kerry Collins is going to be the key to this game because the Giants will not run the football very well. Kerry Collins is what I call a franchise quarterback, and that means he can do it all. He's big, can throw the football down the field with power, has nice touch on those short passes. Kerry Collins gives this Giant offense a chance to succeed against the Ravens defense.
Well, he'll be going up against a record-setting Baltimore Ravens defense led, not surprisingly, by the National Football League's Defensive Player of the Year, Ray Lewis.
Well, Ray Lewis, he is a terrific tackler. The big problem is, can you find a way to get out there and block Ray Lewis? He gives that defense emotion, and he's a big reason why they've been spectacular.
Well, the 2-week wait is over. The hype is all but done. Down on the field, two good friends, head coaches meet. Only one can come away a winner. Player introductions live from Tampa right after this. Welcome back to Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. You see the Baltimore Ravens making their way from their lockers out toward the field, where player introductions will begin shortly. As we were talking with both of these coaches, Brian Billick and Jim Fossil, what is the last thing we said to Jim Fossil? You know, when I introduce you, please be sure you don't what?
You don't trip on the field, Greg. But it's interesting. You brought the question up about being introduced for the Super Bowl to Jim Fossil yesterday. And when you asked him the question, I stood back and looked at him, and he thought, oh, wow, this is going to be a great thing. He welled up, had tears in his eyes, and this is a very, very emotional time for all the players and coaches. They realize the Super Bowl is going to happen.
The Ravens continue to make their way toward the field. They will be the first introduced, as they are the visitors here in Super Bowl 35.
You know, the other thing the coaches have talked about with their players all week long, the warm-up, they've been in their locker rooms now for a long time, probably double the time they're used to. Once they get introduced on the field, you got to remember, longer time to warm up, and the players have to be very careful. And as you look at Ray Lewis, not to use up too much energy in the introductions and save it for the start of the game.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Super Bowl 35. Let's meet the American Football Conference champion, Baltimore Ravens. And now, here are the Ravens' defensive starters. At right tackle, from Pittsburgh, number 98, Tony Siragusa. At left tackle, from Texas A&M, number 95, Sam Adams. At left end, from Syracuse, number 90, Rob Burnett. At right end, from Wake Forest, number 99, Michael McCrary. At left cornerback, from Miami, number 22, Dwayne Starks. At right cornerback, from Arizona, number 21, Chris McAllister. At strong safety, from Penn State, number 20, Kim Herring. At free safety, from Purdue, number 26, Rod Woodson. At right linebacker, from Virginia, number 55, Jamie Sharper. At left linebacker, from Florida State, number 58, Peter Boulware. At middle linebacker, from Miami, number 52, Ray Lewis. And the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, Brian Billick. And now, the National Football Conference champion New York Giants. Let's meet the Giants' defensive starters. At free safety from UCLA, number 36, Sean Williams. At strong safety from Cincinnati, number 20, Sam Garnes. At right cornerback from Southern Cal, number 31, Jason Sehorn. At left cornerback from Tennessee, number 41, Dave Thomas. At right end, from Oklahoma, number 94, Cedric Jones. At right tackle, from Pittsburgh, number 75, Keith Hamilton. At left tackle, from Nebraska, number 99, Christian Peter. At outside linebacker, from Idaho, number 91, Ryan Phillips.
Let's go, baby, come on. Let's go,
At middle linebacker, from Miami, number 58, Mike Barrow. At left end, from Texas Southern, number 92, Michael Strahan. At outside linebacker, from Miami, number 98, Jesse Armstead. And the head coach of the New York Giants, Jim Fossil. Our national anthem and America the Beautiful, all coming up from Raymond James Stadium just prior to Super Bowl 35, right after this. 2001 marks the 225th birthday of the United States. And with us to celebrate by singing America the Beautiful, 15-time Grammy Award winner, the legendary Ray Charles.
This America, sweet America, you know, God shed his grace on thee. Oh, yes, he did. He found out good. Yeah, he did. Thank you, Jesus. I thank you, Lord.
Yeah,
10 years ago this month, the United States led a coalition of allied forces to stop aggression in the Persian Gulf. That action, known as Operation Desert Storm, was directed by United States Central Command, based here at Tampa's MacDill Air Force Base. We are proud to have with us today veterans of that conflict, representing the thousands who gave so much for our country. They are led by a true American hero, Desert Storm Commander-in-Chief, retired Army General Norman Schwarzkopf. And now, to honor all those brave American men and women, please join in the singing of our national anthem, which will be followed by a flyover by the United States Air Force's Thunderbirds. The anthem, produced by Ricky Minor, will be signed for the hearing impaired by Tampa's Tom Cooney. Ladies and gentlemen, the world's most successful pop group, Florida's own, the Backstreet Boys.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose white stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare of our bursting engine gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
A spectacular pregame ceremony has come to an end. The coin toss and the opening kickoff of Super 35 is next. Of the Budweiser.com airship high above beautiful Tampa welcomes football fans everywhere awaiting the kickoff of tonight's game. Ladies and gentlemen, standing at midfield for the coin toss are Ravens captains Shannon Sharp, Ray Lewis, and James Trapp. Representing the Giants are Lomas Brown, Ron Stone, Kerry Collins, Jesse Armstead, and Michael Strahan. Joining us for the coin toss ceremony are the coaches and MVPs from the two previous Super Bowls played here in Tampa. With us from the 1984 Los Angeles Raiders, our former head coach Tom Flores and running back Marcus Allen. And from the 1991 New York Giants, former head coach Bill Parcells and running back Otis Anderson. The referee for today's game is Jerry Austin. To toss the coin, Tom Flores.
This coin commemorates Super Bowl 35. Head is represented by the Lombardi Trophy and the 2 helmets. Baltimore is the visiting team. Who's going to make the call? What is your call? Heads is his call. Coach Flores, would you make the toss? It is a tail. You have won the toss. Which direction? Step over here, please. The Giants have won the toss. They will receive. Good luck, men.
The New York Giants have first crack at the football in Super Bowl 35. We are back with the opening kickoff in Tampa right after this.
Thanks for watching the Charles Schwab Super Bowl Kickoff Show.
On our sidelines tonight are Armin Katayan and Bonnie Bernstein. Bonnie is with Giants coach Jim Fossil. Bonnie.
Good evening. Thank you. One of the most interesting things you've said is you could see this game coming down to the last 5 minutes. How do you prepare your team for that?
Well, we talked about that. It's going to be a tight ball game, and you know the way we won in the championship game, and we didn't have to fight to the wire. And the other one, I felt like we need to be mentally prepared. The game's on the line. We've got to be relaxed and poised to win it.
Coach, thanks. Let's send it over to the Ravens sideline and Armin Katayan.
Thanks, Monty. Coach, your theme to your team all week is you belong in this game. How would you punctuate that point today to them?
Just to have them look each other in the eye and know that regardless what happens today, they're there for each other and they're going to do what we've done all year long.
All right, Coach. Up to you, Greg. Good luck.
Armin, Bonnie, thank you. There is Matt Stover. He will kick it away for the Ravens. Kerry Collins prancing along the sidelines and antsy to get into the football game. Deep to receive for the New York Giants. Number 29, Damon Washington, and that is number 86, Ron Dixon, the rookie out of Lambuth University in Tennessee, who returned the opening kickoff 97 yards for a touchdown in the playoff game against the Philadelphia Eagles. We are glad you are with us on CBS, and Super Bowl 35 is underway. From the 5, it's Dixon. And cut down at about the 21 or 22-yard line by O.J. Brigance after a 17-yard return. And Kerry Collins, who will see a different defense today, comes off an NFC Championship game where he torched the Vikings for 381 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Greg, we had a chance to talk to Kerry Collins this week. We watched him practice. What really struck me, he's very relaxed, knowing he's going against the best defense in football and extremely confident about the Giants' game plan.
Tiki Barber, Greg Camella in the backfield. First down from the 21-yard line. Movement up front. Penalty markers fly on both sides of the field. Jamie Sharper has a loose ball, but that won't count. A little tension on the opening snap.
Well, the one thing you always see the Ravens early in the game, they try to anticipate the snap count to try to get off to a good start, and it looked like they jumped early that time. That'll take some pressure off the Giants. First and 5.
Encouragement, left tackle of the defense, 5 yards, it's still first down.
The left tackle would have been Sam Adams. The offensive lineups. On the offensive line, Lomas Brown, the veteran, 16 years in the league, his first shot at a Super Bowl.
Look at the Giants' backs and receivers. Number 21, Tiki Barber. The Giants say we are going to give the football to him until his tongue hangs out. So I don't know if I want to see that, but that tells you about the Giants' game plan. It is going to feature number 21, Tiki Barber.
Barber is the deep man in the backfield behind Kerry Collins on 1st and 5. Collins to throw. Over the middle, popped in the air. It is incomplete, almost intercepted by the Ravens. Kim Herring, who had 3 interceptions during the regular season, almost came up with his first in the postseason.
Well, let's watch Ray Lewis in the middle, number 52. The Giants drop back pass on first down, a little surprising, but you think you see openings to throw the football. They diagnose it. He gets his hands in there, and Kerry Collins is lucky it wasn't an interception.
On 2nd and 5, Ike Hilliard is the man in motion. The give is to Barber, right side, and nothing there. Jamie Sharper, number 55, stopped the play for no gain.
Look at the defensive line. Michael McCrary, that's the guy the Giants are worried about. They will double team him today.
The linebackers, Boulware and Sharper, bookend the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year, Ray Lewis. And talented and aggressive first-round draft picks at the corners in Starks and McAllister. Kim Herring alongside 9-time Pro Bowler Rod Woodson at safety. There is Marvin Lewis, the defensive coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens. Collins from the shotgun on 3rd and 5.
The Giants want to take a shot early. They'd like to do a double move and go for the score first possession.
He's going to go deep down the sideline. It is incomplete. The dive for the interception by Kim Herring. He couldn't come up with it.
Well, in Baltimore, they play right into the hands of the Baltimore Ravens. They blitz. Kerry Collins doesn't have time. Has to throw the football. It's off target, and Kim Herring almost comes up with the interception.
In to kick it away for the Giants is Brad Maynard. Averaged 40.6 yards a punt during the regular season. Jermaine Lewis, who returned 2 punts for touchdowns in the same game on the receiving end. Calls for the fair catch and makes the catch at his own 37-yard line. 37-yard punt and no return, and there is Trent Dilfer, the man who became the Ravens starting quarterback in late October. He's led Baltimore to 10 straight wins and just 1 interception in 3 postseason games.
So that's the big stat, the 1 interception, Greg. Take care of the football, and he is really happy to be back in Tampa. No, it's not all because he used to be a Buccaneer, but the warm weather. He threw the football really well this week in practice. He says because he got out of that cold and wind up in Baltimore.
Jamal Lewis and Priest Holmes in the backfield on first down, and Dilfer will throw to the sideline. That's complete to Holmes, and Holmes is out of bounds at about the 41. Run out by linebacker Jesse Armstead.
Well, you look at the Baltimore offensive line. It's strong. They love to run the football straight ahead.
Rookie Jamal Lewis is the man Baltimore will look to for the ground game. Tight end Shannon Sharp, the Ravens' leading receiver this season. He has 2 long touchdown catches in the postseason. Again, Lewis and Holmes in the backfield on 2nd and 6. Dilfer to throw again. Sideline, incomplete. Kadri Ishmael, the intended receiver, and Dave Thomas was right along with it.
Well, let's look at the Giant defensive line, number 92, Michael Strahan. Baltimore's got to look out for him.
The linebacking core led by the Giants' unquestioned leader on defense, Jesse Armstead. And the New York secondary is not only talented, it's big. 6'2", 6'2", 6'3", and 6'3", and no one lighter than 215 pounds. Defensive coordinator John Fox looks on. 3rd and 6, and Jamal Lewis, the lone back, behind Dilfer. Dilfer throws this side and overthrows his intended receiver, Shannon Sharp. So both teams 3 and out on their first possessions as the punting unit comes onto the field for the Ravens.
Well, the one thing you think about when you look at this game, Greg, we know the defenses are good, but what both offenses found out, hey, they're even better than they looked on film. So the power, you can't gauge that when you study a team on film. You got to see it in person. Both teams surprised.
Tiki Barber is deep to receive the kick, calls for the fair catch, and pulls it in at about the 12 or the 13-yard line. So Kerry Collins will go back to work deep in his own territory when we come back to Raymond James Stadium. Well, as we did with all of the players, we talked with Kerry Collins about his upcoming Super Bowl appearance, and in order to prepare for it, fellow quarterback Jason Garrett set up a conversation last week with Troy Aikman of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, Kerry Collins wanted to hear somebody that's been there, your Super Bowl experience, what can help me? Troy Aikman says, hey, you want to get off to a good start. It's really important. So tell your coach, well, Troy didn't work quite that way. Under pressure both times, and both throws were almost picked off.
From the 13-yard line. Play clock winding down. He just barely gets it off. Pump and goes down before he can get rid of it. Rob Burnett, the team's leading man in the sack department with 10.5 during the season, throws Collins for a loss of 6.
Well, you got to throw the football in rhythm when you're going against this Ravens defense. Amani Toomer's on a double move on the outside. He goes down the field, watch, fakes inside, goes deep on Dwayne Starks, and Dwayne Starks says, everybody tries those double moves on us. They are what they practice them many times a day, and they were ready for it.
2nd and 16 now from the 8. The pitch for Barber. Right side, trying to turn the corner. The cutback isn't there, and he is thrown at the 8-yard line by James Trapp. A gain of just 2, and the Giants are looking at 3rd and 14.
There's Sean Payton, the offensive coordinator. Now, what do you have to do when you're the Giants? You're going to have a lot of bad plays against this defense. You must remain patient. Don't try to force it. Don't think there's a big play there. Wait for it to come, then take advantage of it.
Barber and Camella in the backfield with 3 wide receivers for the Giants and Collins from the shotgun. Hilliard in motion. Collins steps up, all kinds of room in front of him, and he will take off and then slide down at the 15-yard line, well short of a first down. We expected defense to come to the fore. This is the 3rd 3-and-out.
Well, we can expect a lot of 3-and-outs today, Greg, and you saw Marvin Lewis, the defensive coordinator. Again, what happens is you just got to settle in and get used to how good the defense is, make your adjustment, and call plays that give you a better chance to succeed.
Brad Maynard to kick it away to Jermaine Lewis. Bouncing out of bounds just across midfield and just barely into Baltimore territory, but it'll be pretty good field position for the Ravens offense when we come back.
5 on CBS Sports is sponsored by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. Singular, the wireless company that believes in the value and joy of self-expression. And by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
The game that a defensive team like the Baltimore Ravens loves to play is that of field position. Their first possession, their own 37-yard line. They take over now on their next possession at their own 49.
Well, that's what they want to play back and forth, Greg. They're one of the few teams in the National Football League. They look at it as a success if they have a 3-and-out and they punt it down there, they don't turn it over, because they know when they get it back, they're probably going to have better field position.
Lewis and Gash in the backfield behind Trent Dilfer on first down. Jamal Lewis. And nothing there. We will talk from time to time tonight about eye vision. If you're wondering what it is, this is what it looks like.
Well, we'll give you some shots of it as the game goes along. Watch Kerry Collins. He got a pass rush, quarterback, he drops back. Look, he sees a big lane. Look at that big lane, so he steps up into it, knows he can't stand there too long because defensive linemen from behind are going to come after him, picks up a few yards.
Collins looks on as Dilfer looks at a 2nd and 11. Out this way and falling, slipping down to the turf is Jamal Lewis, incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 11.
Well, the one thing, Trent Dilfer, he has a very strong arm. He can throw it down the field. You know, he's one of the top 10 players in the league when you say throw it down 15 yards or farther, but his weakness, short passes. Look at that. Jamal Lewis is going to run for big yards. Trent Dilfer with not very good touch on the football, throws it short.
Dilfer 1 out of 4 for just 4 yards and faced with 3rd and long here. He needs the Giants 41-yard line for a first down. Movement right in the center of the line. And let's see if the Giants jumped or if the Ravens moved first.
Encroachment, 75 defense, 5 yards. It's still 3rd down.
Keith Hamilton.
Well, if I was a quarterback in this game, it's good. Go up there, give some hard counts. Just think about it. Defensive lineman, the Super Bowl. Hey, obvious passing situation. I'm going to get me a sack in the Super Bowl. Use that snap count, make them jump, give yourself better protection, or even better yet, make them jump off sides.
Dilfer on 3rd and 6, going to go deep. Down the field, has his man, incomplete in the end zone to Patrick Johnson.
That is a perfect throw by Trent Dilfer. Patrick Johnson looks up and actually slows down. Watch him against Jason Sehorn. Goes right at him and just outruns him. Well, when I watch that replay, it doesn't look like he slowed down. I thought he looked for the football and didn't run through the catch. But when you watch the replay, it looks like a pretty good effort by Patrick Johnson. That was the best long ball I've seen Trent Dilfer throw since the playoffs have begun.
Tiki Barber at his own 10-yard line for the punt from Kyle Richardson. He lets the ball bounce, and that's going to roll down to the 1.5-yard line. For the 2nd time tonight, Kyle Richardson pins the opponent inside the 20-yard line. He has led the league in that department the last 2 years. For the E-Trade Super Bowl 35 halftime show, performances by Aerosmith, NSYNC, Britney Spears, Mary J. Blige, and Nelly. That's coming at halftime. The Giants are backed up against their own goal line. Phil, what do they look for?
It's different when you play the Baltimore Ravens. Most teams on defense in this situation would be conservative. The Ravens try to score. They want a safety. The Giants know that. So Sean Payton, the offensive coordinator, says, I'm going to be aggressive and maybe go long from this situation.
Whistles, the handoff to Ron Dane.
Now, as I say that,
Prior to the snap, false start, 76. Half a distance to the goal. It's still 1st down.
Lomas Brown, the offender.
now as I say that, Greg, that is a tremendous and a very good philosophy before the game started when you're going through the week. But what we've seen so far here, the Giants can be thinking, well, we better not be so aggressive because this defense is making it pretty tough on us so far.
It is an aggressive Baltimore defense. It is noteworthy that the Giants have not allowed a defensive touchdown to be scored against them all season long. The only team in the NFL to boast that fact. Dane and Camella in the backfield. Collins rolling, throws over the middle. It is. Did it fall incomplete? It is on the ground and appears to be incomplete.
Well, there's a look at it, Greg. They were coming after Kerry Collins. The Ravens guessed right. They were blitzing to stop the run, and then they go, well, if he throws it, we'll have a lot of players in there. Ray Lewis tips it. McAllister drops it. Webster drops it.
It's a scrum at the 3-yard line.
It's a scrum. We're in Australia. But that's Kerry Collins. Every time he goes back to throw, the Ravens are getting their hands on the football first.
3 incompletes and a sack and 4 dropbacks. 2nd and 10. Collins on the move, throws, has Hilliard out of bounds and appears to have enough for a 1st down. Collins' first completion tonight is good for 13 yards.
Oh, and what a big completion it is for Kerry Collins. You haven't completed a pass. The Giants do a terrific job. Get him outside the pocket. Kerry Collins, I think, is one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League throwing on the run. Very accurate.
That's Marvin Lewis, the defensive coordinator of the Ravens. And, of course, his defense has just allowed the first down of the night, so you know he's not pleased. Joe Montgomery, number 33, in the backfield for the Giants. And he gets the handoff, tries the right side, out to about the 18-yard line. Rod Woodson makes the stop.
Well, Marvin Lewis, the defensive coordinator, he's upset because his defensive end got caught inside and let Kerry Collins go outside. And Greg, Joe Montgomery coming in. Look for him to get a few carries in this Giant offense. He's bigger than Tiki Barber. He's a little faster. And the Giants, they just want to get some extra yards. They want that one extra yard that Joe Montgomery can give them on runs up inside.
Barber is back in the lineup on 2nd and 6. Barber with the ball. In the middle of that line are two really big guys for the Baltimore Ravens in Sam Adams and Tony Siragusa. And, you know, they look at opposing running backs as lunch, and they treat them accordingly.
Well, I got a feeling they look at everything as lunch. When you get that big, Greg, you like to eat, but everybody's in on the tackle. That time, Keith Washington. What makes it so hard against Baltimore's defense, it's just not the starting 11. There's 6 other players that come in there that are worthy of starting too. So guys on the defense do not get tired.
Giants go with 4 wide receivers on 3rd and 6. Collins throws incomplete, batted down by Ray Lewis.
You see, the Ravens should be used to these type of patterns where receivers go real short underneath. The Oakland Raiders, they specialize in it. They played them 2 weeks ago. They got used to it, and that's one of the reasons why Ray Lewis can cover a wide receiver coming across the field.
Jermaine Lewis drops back, number 84, at about his own 38-yard line for the punt from Brad Maynard.
Yeah, baby!
Booming kick. Lewis from his 35. Turning the corner, blockers in front. To the 35, the 30 penalty marker is down, and he goes down at the Giant 22-yard line.
Boy, you heard that all week long. The special teams of the Ravens, most people think they had the advantage.
Holding 45 of the receiving team during the run back. 10 yards, first down.
The penalty is on Corey Harris, number 45. And it will wipe out a 43-yard return by Jermaine Lewis.
There's Corey Harris, number 45. Well, once Omar Stoutmire turned around and Corey Harris doesn't let go. You can see the hands on the jersey. Oh, nice grip.
I believe that would qualify as a very nice grip. So the Ravens, still with the improved field position, start at the New York 41-yard line. Jamal Lewis, left side, lead block by Sam Gash across the 40 to about the 39-yard line.
Well, Jamal Lewis, his strength, he's big, and he likes to run straight ahead. Watch him as he just goes up into the line of scrimmage. Sam Gash, the lead blocker, and just lowers his head and gets in there and gets some tough yards.
Jamal Lewis, 1,364 rushing yards on the season. 2nd and 7. Dilfer throws deep. Brandon Stokely inside the 10 to the end zone. Touchdown.
There's the name, Greg, we expected to hear a couple of weeks ago. Brandon Stokely, probably the fastest player on the field tonight. Him and Ron Dixon for the Giants. But watch Stokely going against Jason Sehorn. Just a little stutter step, then a, wow, what a throw by Trent Dilfer, right in stride. Stokely makes an easy catch.
38 yards, the longest reception of Stokely's 2-year career. The extra point is up, and it is good. Six minutes, 50 seconds to play in the first quarter. Trent Dilfer's touchdown pass has the Ravens up 7-0. Trent Dilfer's 38-yard touchdown pass caps a 41-yard drive. That is the longest touchdown drive allowed by the New York Giants in this postseason.
I think the New York Giants made a mistake on the coverage. And why do I think that? I saw the replay, and I saw Jason Sehorn's reaction after Brandon Stokely crossed the goal line.
on the kickoff. Ron Dixon trying to get outside the coverage, and he is not going to make it. Down at his own 14-yard line. And let's go back to the touchdown pass.
Well, what always makes it easy for a quarterback is to have a clean line of sight. Watch Trent Dilfer. Nice look off. Looks to his left, and nobody in front of him. Look at that nice lane. He can see the receiver down the field. And what a throw. Now watch Jason Sehorn's reaction as he gets up. Oh, absolutely. And Sean Williams, his body language, oh, it almost went through. Nice catch, though, hangs on. And you saw Sean Williams' reaction. That also tells you, I think he made a mistake.
Barber and Camella behind Collins. First down from their own 14. Collins to throw. Quick out. Camella. And hit at about the 15-yard line by Dwayne Starks. A pickup of 2, 2nd and 8.
Let's go back to the touchdown and let me show you what I mean for all the people at home so you can understand. Shannon Sharp's up here. As it goes, you'll see 2 defenders on him. Look where Sean Williams goes. He was supposed to be on the other side, and what also lets me believe that Jason Sehorn was expecting help. He was on the outside of the receiver. Somebody was supposed to be on the inside.
The Giants trail in the postseason for the first time. Barber. And Barber tripped up and down at the 18-yard line. Ray Lewis's pursuit held that to a 2-yard gain.
Boy, Ray Lewis, what did he tell us, Greg? All of his teammates make fun of this guy because he's not that fast, they say. And I made that point to Ray Lewis, and he goes, yeah, but when somebody has the football in their hand, I'm really fast. And you could see at that time, he can run to the football as good as anybody I've ever watched on film or been in person to watch the games.
The Giants 0 for 3 on 3rd down so far tonight. 3 wide receivers. Collins on the move. Gonna keep it sliding down at the 20. That won't be enough for a first down. And Kerry Collins getting into a little jawing with the Raven defense.
Well, I don't know what the Giants were trying to do there. It almost looks like it was a quarterback keep, and I wouldn't be sending Kerry Collins to the perimeter against his defense too often, unless it's to throw the football first.
Jermaine Lewis stands at his own 37. Good punt by Maynard. Loose ball. Still loose, and the Ravens fall on it, but they've lost about 10 or 12 yards in the process. This is Jermaine Lewis, and Lewis had definitely had eyes for Damon Washington. So the Giants get a break on the field position. Baltimore ball when we return. Well, for the first time in Super Bowl history, you can help decide the game's MVP. Just log on to superbowl.com during the 4th quarter and vote. Superbowl.com, powered by CBS.sportsline.com. 4:21 to play in the 1st quarter. I'm sorry, partner.
That's okay. One observation, the Giants defense, I would quit being so aggressive. Make the Ravens march down the field. Don't keep coming after the quarterback and let him throw these bombs, go for the quick scores.
Movement on the line before the snap of the football. This appears that it will go against Baltimore.
See, that's the one thing.
Ball start, 64 offense, 5 yards. It's still first down.
That's left guard Edwin Mulatalo.
That's what the Ravens want you to do. They want to run the football, then they want you to be aggressive in the passing game so they can throw it deep. Matt Cavanaugh, the offensive coordinator, he called his favorite play in that touchdown, send everybody straight down the field, let the quarterback look off, throw it to the guy that has a one-on-one coverage, and Trent Dilfer did that.
To give us to Jamal Lewis. Lewis up the middle, gets hit at about the 25-yard line. Mike Barrow along with Keith Hamilton leading the charge. A pickup of 2, and it'll be 2nd and 13.
Well, let's take a look at UpCam and see what it looks like up inside. Wow, look at Jesse Armstead attack the line of scrimmage. He misses the tackle. Keith Hamilton falls off the block and gets the tackle.
Brandon Stokely back onto the field, and he is in the slot to the bottom of your screen, number 80. They'll keep it on the ground. Jamal Lewis. And not much there. And the pile slowly unwinds, and from the Budweiser.com airship over Tampa, Budweiser invites you to kick back and enjoy the game. Clock moving up on 3:15 to play here in the first quarter of Super Bowl 35. The Ravens with a 7-0 lead on the strength of Trent Dilfer's 38-yard touchdown pass to Brandon Stokely. Dilfer looking at a 3rd and 11. Deep drop, plenty of time, throws and underthrows. Stokely coming across the middle.
I was going to say Trent Dilfer is really throwing the football very well down here so far in this game, but that time Brandon Stokely wide open. Nobody has him, and Trent Dilfer waits too long to deliver the football.
Dilfer's numbers on the night. And Ike Hilliard is back to receive this punt. Jim Fossil and Tiki Barber had indicated it would be Barber. Barber has returned one, but this is Hilliard. Hilliard from the 20. Dodges at one tackle and another, and was run out of bounds close to the 40-yard line. O.J. Brigance with the special teams play for the Ravens. 53-yard punt and a 19-yard return. And Kerry Collins set to come back onto the field to lead the New York Giants offense, and you see his numbers on the evening. And
yeah, well, there's a couple things. The Giant defense did what it had to do. In other words, they got to play the same game the Ravens are. Try to get field position. It worked. This time they got it near the 40-yard line. And Kerry Collins, he had to go to the sideline, and you got to reevaluate how you're going to play this game. You got to know as a quarterback, you got to go, wow, this is tough. And you got to make your decisions quick and be extremely careful with the football.
The rookie Ron Dane is the lone back. Collins play fakes, has time, going to go deep down the middle, has a man open, incomplete, intended for Ike Hilliard inside the 20-yard line. And that's the best time Kerry Collins has had tonight.
Nice play by the New York Giants. They keep players in to give the quarterback extra protection. What a move by Ike Hilliard. I did not see that until I watched the replay. A double move. And what happens is, after you make that second move, you're not going to be going as fast as you usually are. So Kerry Collins throws off his timing just a little bit and is a yard too long on the throw.
Ike Hilliard coming off a 10-catch performance in the NFC Championship game. Collins fakes one way, goes the other, Tiki Barber. And Barber sliding down at the 40-yard line. And it'll be about a 3rd and 8.
Now, see, when that screen play was set up, Greg, I was sitting up here going, oh, this looks good. And I know you were too. Watch Kerry Collins going to fake it to the left. And as he throws it to the right, there's no defender except Ray Lewis. I know Tiki Barber slips, but Ray Lewis got around the blockers and is going to make the tackle anyway. And we've watched about 5 Raven games. I have yet to see anybody throw a screen and get more than 3 or 4 yards against the speed of this Ravens defense.
3rd and 8 for the Giants. Collins going to let go down the sideline. It is overthrown, intended for Amani Toomer. If nothing else, the Giants are showing the Ravens that they won't hesitate to go deep tonight.
Yeah, they will go deep, but the problem is the Baltimore Ravens have, I think, one of the best tandem of corners in the National Football League. Dwayne Starks and Chris McAllister, they're up to the challenge most nights to cover people on the outside one-on-one.
Tremaine Lewis is deep. He showed how dangerous he can be on his last punt return. Sky-high kick. This one is allowed to bounce and will roll inside the 25-yard line to about the 23. 1:26 to play here in the first quarter. And next Sunday, the brightest stars show off in Honolulu at the 2001 Pro Bowl. Check your local listings for time and channel.
Well, so far we've seen Ray Lewis stop some running plays. We've seen him get his hands on a couple passes. This time he's a blitzer. He's a pass rusher. And a nice job. Greg Camella commits way too early going after him, and Ray Lewis goes right around him and almost gets to Kerry Collins.
From their own 23-yard line, Dilfer to throw. Has time, gonna go deep. The defender slipped and fell and is thrown out of bounds. Jason Sehorn fell at about the 45-yard line. Patrick Johnson was wide open.
Well, if I didn't know better, the Baltimore Ravens are picking on Jason Sehorn. They are double moving him. They're trying to run down the field and just outrun him. Watch this. Patrick, nice move, and Jason Sehorn slips. Oh, and Trent Dilfer, if he holds the ball just a half a second longer, he's going to see it, and it's a walk-in touchdown.
You know, it's funny. All week long, we've talked with Trent Dilfer and said, what's the big difference between your days here in Tampa and your days in Baltimore? He said, patience. But he's been throwing the ball an awful lot tonight. The give is to Jamal Lewis, and Lewis, the left side, out to about the 28-yard line.
See, Greg, it's easy to have patience when you got a defense on the other side that always gives the ball back to you about 2 minutes after you come off the field. But that's what the Baltimore offense, what a good strategy so far. When they're throwing it, they're looking for yards. Trent Dilfer is getting back deep and throwing it down the field, and that's 3 times we've seen a receiver wide open. All 3 could have been for scores.
No one has been very efficient on third down tonight. 3 wide receivers, Priest, Holmes, the lone back behind Dilfer. Dilfer throws. That is incomplete. Dilfer was telling us all the practice this week has been on quick timing moves and that the ball would be in the air before his receivers made their breaks.
Yeah, he asked me after we watched him practice. He says, okay, Phil, what's the theme? What are we going to do this week? And I'm going, man, I don't know, Trent. I didn't watch it that closely. But he says, get rid of the football. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to take sacks or take the big hits.
Dilfer is 2 for 9 tonight. One of those 2 completions, the 38-yard touchdown pass. Hilliard at his own 25-yard line is deep for the kick. And he's going to return out of this one. 35, 40. And he's brought down at the 41-yard line. And again, decent field position for the New York Giants. A 44-yard kick and a 13-yard return. Jamie Sharper making the stop. Well, I think we've seen both teams testing the other, trying to find where the little chink in the armor is.
Well, I think the Ravens have definitely found that chink, and it's a chunk. It's big, and they're taking their shots down the field. I think the New York Giants still trying to figure out how are we going to move the football, and I think the best way to do it is look for those big plays. Look down the field, try to score with 1 or 2 big throws. I don't think you can march it down in a 10-play drive and score against the Baltimore Ravens.
Tiki Barber. And not much there as he tries the right side. Ray Lewis leading the charge. A gain of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9, and the clock will wind down on the first quarter here in Super Bowl 35. That is the end of the first quarter. Trent Dilfer to Brandon Stokely. 38 yards and a touchdown, the only score of the night. So far, 7-0 Ravens. We'll come back to Raymond James Stadium right after this. Back for the start of the second quarter at Raymond James Stadium, Super Bowl 35. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I want to talk about, remember we asked Ray Lewis, I said, why do teams try to run against you guys? And he goes, it's pride. They just think they can, so they're going to try it. And he says, it's like when you go to a restaurant and the waiter tells you the plate's hot, what's the first thing you do? You touch the plate to see how hot it is. And that's what teams want to see about this Ravens defense.
5 wide receivers for the Giants on first down over the middle behind Ike Hilliard, and he is slammed to the ground at midfield by Jamie Sharper.
Well, the one thing you must do if you're a quarterback for your wide receivers, when you look down the field, the most important thing is look in front of them. So when you throw the football, you do not lead them into trouble. And Tony Saragusa tipped the football. Oh, and look at that shot.
Jamie Sharper on Ike Hilliard. From the shotgun. Collins gonna go deep. Throw incomplete. Intended for Hilliard. And let's get a sense of what's happening down on the sidelines. Let's check in with Bonnie Bernstein.
Well, Greg, I've been keeping an eye on Kerry Collins' demeanor, and even though he's been sacked and pressured and almost picked off a couple of times, he's been very calm, comes off the field, replaces his helmet with his baseball cap, and goes to talk to his coaches. And when the Ravens actually scored the touchdown, he glanced up to the scoreboard and went right back to talking to Greg Kamel about what they were doing on the next play. Greg?
All right, Bonnie. 6 New York drives, 1 first down, 5 3-and-outs. And Jermaine Lewis awaits the punt. Another good kick by Maynard. Fair catch called for and made at the 14-yard line by Jermaine Lewis. 45-yard punt, no return. 14:41 to play in the first half. 7-0 Baltimore. A brand new survivor coming up after the game. There's the original survivor, Richard Hatch, in attendance here tonight. You know, it's a good idea for a survivor. How about all the analysts get together and get sent off to an island, see who gets voted off and who gets to stay?
Yeah, that would be interesting. I tell you, it'd be a tie because we'd all probably talk each other to death, so nobody would win.
First down, Baltimore, their own 15-yard line. Double tight end setup, but the give is to running back Jamal Lewis, and there's not much there on the ground. Let's check in with Armin Katane. Armin.
Thanks, Greg. Linebacker Jamie Sharper described the Ravens as sleeping giants this week. He told me we get transformed, unleashed in his words, after a big play. The Brandon Stokely touchdown for sure, that big Sharper hit on the last series, and I can tell you they're not sleeping down here right now. Back to you.
All right, Armin.
Yeah, it's a very emotional team. You could tell that just by the way they announced the starting lineups. They took their helmets off. They all were very excited about it.
Dilfer to throw. Out here, complete to Ben Coates. The veteran tight end in his 10th season, longtime New England Patriot. Only his 2nd reception in the postseason.
Well, the one thing Trent Dilfer said I got to do in this football game, I got to look down the field, and when it's not open, get rid of it immediately to the short receiver. That time it was Ben Coates.
Another 3rd down. Priest Holmes, the only one in the backfield as Dilfer deploys 4 wide receivers on 3rd and 6. Dilfer has his man, complete. Patrick Johnson, enough for the first down. Eight yards on the play. Mike Barrow made the tackle.
Well, again, you know, when we asked Trent Dilfer a lot of questions. 3rd down throwing is by far the hardest thing for a quarterback. Let's see what it looks like to Trent Dilfer. Defensive lineman in front of him. We go around, steps up, nice throwing lane, finds the open spot, and picks out Patrick Johnson on the outside.
Only the 3rd first down of the night by both teams combined. On first down, straight ahead, Jamal Lewis, and Barrow was there. Boy, what a rookie rusher Jamal Lewis has been. Came out of Tennessee, 1st-round draft pick of the Baltimore Ravens. Over 1,300 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns, 1,660 total yards this year for Baltimore.
What a tough thing for a rookie. Come in, Greg, to have all those carries. And with his running style, makes it even more impressive because he doesn't like run away from hits. He looks for that punishment, likes to deliver the blow to the defender, and that's why he's such a good runner inside.
Dilfer rolls on 2nd and 7, has time, and now running out of time and throws it out of bounds. And meets with a little violence, courtesy of the New York Giants.
Well, the one thing you got to do, Trent Dilfer trying to find a wide receiver open down the field, but try not to take these extra hits if you can. Jesse Armstead and Michael Barrow getting to Trent Dilfer that time. But what I was going to say earlier, Greg, Trent Dilfer, 3rd down is by far the hardest thing for the quarterback in the National Football League. When you play for a team that runs it like Baltimore does, he's talking, he goes, you don't really enjoy throwing the football on 3rd downs. And I just go, well, you really have settled into that job up there in Baltimore.
4 wide receivers. Giants blitz. Dilfer goes down. The Giants told us this week they like the matchup of Michael Strahan on the right side against Harry Swain.
Well, we actually asked the Baltimore Ravens, what scares you in the football game? They said, hey, Harry Swain against Michael Strahan. So we expected to see him double teamed most of the time. That time he was singled up, he gets a sack.
Tiki Barber to take the punt, which rolls off the side of the foot but takes a Baltimore bounce and is down at the 40-yard line. Michael Strahan, the big defensive play for the New York Giants, who go back on offense.
On CBS Sports is sponsored by Warner Brothers Exit Wounds, starring Steven Seagal and DMX. Brewery Fresh Budweiser, with a distinctively crisp, clean, and refreshing taste. And by the joy of Pepsi.
Tiki Barber, number 21 for the New York Giants, expected to be a big part of this New York offense. 5 carries for 5 yards tonight and 1 reception for 2 yards. They're going to need more production than that.
Well, Greg, that production's got to come in the passing game. It's just too tough to run anywhere in this Baltimore Ravens defense.
Barber and Cannell behind Collins on first down. Collins on the move. Looking downfield, penalty marker flies as Collins runs out of bounds at about the 38-yard line.
Holding on Baltimore.
Well, the Giants' field position has been steadily improving their last 3 drives. Well, Jerry Austin is having some microphone problems, but we think the penalty is on number 51, Cornell Brown.
No, there's no thinking. It was against him. I watched him. He grabbed the running back and never let go on that play as Kerry Collins made the play fake and rolled to his right.
But I started to say the last 3 Giant drives have begun at their own 39 and their own 40-yard line twice. Line of scrimmage now the 45-yard line and a first down. Collins pulls it down, reloads, throws it away, and a penalty marker is down. Amani, or rather Ike Hilliard, is pointing at the defensive back of the Ravens, and let's see what the officials say. Illegal contact against the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, Jerry also a little upset about that, Mike. But let's watch Dwayne Starks against Ike Hilliard. Nice fake. Oh, very nice. Again, a double move by the Giant wide receivers. The Giants are throwing the football. They are looking for big plays.
10 penalties. Against the Ravens in the AFC Championship, tied their season high. They've got half that number already this evening. So they've moved by penalties, 5-yard increments. The ball is at midfield, first down Giants. The pitch for Barber and the reverse for Hilliard. The pitch back to Collins, who's looking deep. Hilliard, the intended receiver, and is out of bounds. They get Ron Dixon, the intended receiver. Let's see, we had a pitch and a reverse and a pitch back to the quarterback. Well, and when all of that was done, there was no one open.
There's still nobody open. A double reverse pass by the New York Giants. Usually the only place you see those now are out in sandlots. You don't see them in football almost at any level. But the Ravens defense, why it makes it easier for them to defend these type of trick plays is because they never really turn their back on the quarterback. So they see what's going on. Look, 2 defensive backs back there in coverage. They don't get fooled too often on trick plays.
On 2nd and 10, Collins with time. It is tipped in the air and intercepted. Jamie Sharper with the football. Ray Lewis tipped it. Jamie Sharper picked it off.
Well, every time you look up, watch Kerry Collins as he throws. Ray Lewis, what a job he did. He was going to run up, go closer to the line of scrimmage. He looks back. He saw the quarterback. He reads the eyes. He stays in position. Doesn't catch very well. Gets his hands up there, knocks it up, and Jamie Sharper gets the interception.
The tipped pass, especially straight up in the air, has to be quarterback's ultimate nightmare.
Absolutely. When it's inside or anywhere near the middle of the field, it usually results in an interception.
From their own 47-yard line, Trent Dilfer under the gun, throws, intercepted. Penalty marker is down. The marker is down. Jesse Armstead goes to the end zone, and let's check the flag.
Could be holding on the Ravens. I'm sorry, on the Giants.
That is exactly what it is.
Jamal Lewis was the receiver in the play, and he was tackled.
Holding, 75 defense, 5 yards, automatic first down.
The penalty is on Keith Hamilton.
And you saw Brian Billick's reaction. His reaction is, yeah, it's a penalty, but he wants to know, why as a quarterback, Trent Dilfer, why are you taking this chance? You must be throwing to something you do not see. That was a good shot. You could see Jamal Lewis getting pulled.
So now the line of scrimmage, the New York 48-yard line. First down, Baltimore. Jamal Lewis shakes a tackler, shakes another tackler. Inside the 40 to about the 37 or 38-yard line. And he appears to have enough for a first down.
You know, Greg, going back to that screen where there was a holding penalty, even if the running back is not held, I think it's going to be an interception. Watch Jamal Lewis come up into the line of scrimmage. Here's Keith Hamilton. He sees the screen. He grabs him. Trent Dilfer has to anticipate the throw before he wants, and it's too late to even get up and make a tackle on the interception.
First down at the 37-yard line. Back to the line of scrimmage and not much more. Keith Hamilton with the stop. We'll call it a gain of 1 and 2nd and 9. Matt Cavanaugh, you saw him over there as he communicated the next call out to Trent Dilfer. As we talked to him, we said, you know, have you ever thought about having to call plays against this Baltimore defense? And he said, no, that would give me nightmares.
Yeah, that's right. Well, he has the nightmares. He has to work it against it every day in training camp, and he says it's not a lot of fun. Can't get much done against that defense.
Dilfer steps up, nowhere to go, goes down at about the 42-yard line. Cornelius Griffin, the rookie out of Alabama.
Some of the Giant defensive linemen, they talk about Cornelius Griffin, and they just say, hey, this guy has it all. First, he has the talent, which is always, you know, important to be a star in the NFL. Watch him there, number 97. But they said what's going to set him apart is the fact that he likes to work. He works hard at his job. That's going to enable you to just keep getting better.
Dilfer needs the New York 27-yard line for a first down. 3 wide receivers and Priest Holmes in the backfield. Dilfer deep drop, throws, has his man, and he dropped the football. Shannon Sharp had it and dropped it inside the 40.
Well, if the Giants keep hitting the quarterback like they are, Trent Dilfer, almost every single throw, after he lets it go, he ends up on the ground. If they keep hitting him, he's going to make a mistake because you don't get enough time to make those decisions down the field and see clearly.
Kyle Richardson will kick it. Tiki Barber is at the 10-yard line. Richardson, again, his specialty, pinning the team inside its own 20. And he'll do it again here as Barber makes the fair catch at his own 15-yard line, and there's a penalty marker down. It's going to be against the Giants.
Holding, number 25 during the kick. Half a distance to the goal, first down.
It's defensive back Ramos McDonald. So half the distance it is. We'll take a timeout. 8:24 to play in the first half. Baltimore with a 1-touchdown lead. Tonight, right after the Super Bowl, 16 new castaways try to outwit, outplay, and outlast each other. Don't miss the premiere of this year's most talked about, most anticipated show, Survivor, the Australian Outback, after the Super Bowl right here on CBS. From the 7.5-yard line, the Giants on first down. Collins to throw. Sideline. Has his man, and that is complete and out of bounds to Amani Toomer. So Toomer out to about the 13-yard line.
Well, that makes Kerry Collins 4 of 14 so far in this game. The one thing they want to do, they want to throw some of these tonight. Some quick rhythm throws to the outside, and that's going to be their running game. Get 5 or 6 yards on those throws, and then maybe on 2nd and 4 and 5, you can sneak a run play up in there.
2nd and 5 now. Collins over the middle. Nice catch by Toomer. Toomer across the 30 to the 32-yard line and a first down. 20 yards on the play and a nice adjustment on the ball by Amani Toomer.
And a lot of faith by Kerry Collins. Watch the route as he comes down and goes to the inside. This is a tight throw by Collins. Even though he hadn't hit a lot of passes, you can see the confidence, sticks it in there, and that's what the Giants have to do, I think. They've got to look down the field for big passing plays.
Last 2 plays, Amani Toomer with his first 2 catches of the night. Joe Montgomery, not much there.
And, you know, talking about Amani Toomer, Sean Payton, the offensive coordinator, says to me, you know, we always try to find a way to get Amani Toomer involved in the game. He's one of those players, when he gets dirty, when he gets hit, catches a couple passes, he just becomes so much more effective for us in the passing game, and they're going to need him tonight, and they got him dirty early. Trying to throw passes to him, that gets him into the flow of the game.
Amani told us Kerry Collins throws the ball deceptively hard. So the first week he was in camp, everybody was dropping the football. 2nd and 10. Collins over the middle, has his man, tight end Howard Cross to the 40-yard line. It'll be a 3rd and 2.
Well, a couple things I noticed now. The Giants just keep spreading the field, trying to get space, make the Baltimore defenders cover more ground. And also what you'll notice, all of a sudden, Kerry Collins is getting a little time to throw the football. The more you throw it, even though they got reserves, that Baltimore defensive line will get tired.
Sam Adams goes across the line. Let's see if he was drawn off or if he jumped. Rob Burnett says he was drawn off.
Encroachment.
Jerry Austin says otherwise.
5 yards.
We'll see.
Resulting plays of
Sam Adams has got to quit listening to Tony Saragusa. What did Tony Saragusa tell us? He goes, oh, man, he goes, all the time I'm down there. And you know how the offensive player goes, hut, hut? Well, we have a shift that we call hot. So I'm always down there going, hot, hot, and trying to imitate the snap count. He says it works, you know, about once a game for him. I think that's cheating, isn't it?
When you said that, what did Siragusa tell us? What hasn't he told us? Collins. Under the gun. Throws incomplete. Just across midfield, Ike Hilliard, his intended receiver.
Well, there's 2 things Tony Saragusa does well. One of them is talking, and let's see, what would the other one be? Let's take a look at him, and you take a guess.
I remember when we were talking to him, and he was walking out of the room, and you said, well, what are you weighing now? And he said 42, 43, and there was no question what he meant.
He doesn't even have to say the first number. We take that for granted.
342 or 343. 5 wide receivers for the Giants. On the blitz, quick pass, complete to the 45-yard line. That will be close to and is enough for a first down for the Giants.
What a job by Kerry Collins. The blitz comes, and he stands in there, takes the hit. James Trapp, number 38, comes in free, and Kerry Collins knows he has to get rid of the football. Boy, another nice throw. It looks like it might have been tipped by Ray Lewis also.
For the first time tonight, the Giants are in Baltimore territory. 47 yards on this possession. Collins to throw again. And this one tipped and almost intercepted once again. Larry Webster, number 79, got a hand on this one.
The Baltimore Ravens, this is our third playoff game we've done so far in the last couple of weeks. Greg, they tip more passes, and a lot of it is, of course, they get pressure. Well, that's not a tip, that's just a hit in the head. But they tip a lot of passes because the defensive linemen, they read the quarterback, they know when to raise their hands, and it's just being taught well and executing very good on the field.
2nd and 10. Collins goes down. Keith Washington. Loss of 8 on the play, and the Giants will be looking at a 3rd and 18.
Well, Keith Washington, number 93, just keeps working, gets around his man, gets flushed out of the pocket. Bullware is making Kerry Collins go to his left. Keith Washington gets off his block and gets the sack.
So the Giants now back on their own 46. They need the Baltimore 35 for a first down. Barber up the middle and to the 42-yard line before he is brought down. Corey Harris, Ray Lewis with the tackle, but the Giants will have to kick it away.
Well, the Giants changed field position. They moved it down. They got a chance to pin the Baltimore Ravens deep. Defense, you got to go out there, do your job, and give the football back to your offense in good field position.
Brad Maynard will kick it away. Jermaine Lewis stands at his own 10-yard line. Fair catch called for and made at the 11 or 12. We have 4:09 remaining in the first half of Super Bowl 35. The Ravens 7 and the Giants nothing. Flying high above Tampa is the Budweiser.com airship. Budweiser salutes football fans everywhere. And if I were those guys up there, I'd keep an eye out for that B-2 bomber that flew over the stadium before. We saw it the other day, Phil, and it went right over us. We didn't hear a thing. You can't hear it.
Quite a sight, Greg. It really was. And you're sitting in your car, you cannot hear it come over you.
First down, Baltimore from the Ravens' 12-yard line. And Dilfer going to throw. Quick pass, nice catch by Brandon Stokely, and it's out to about the 18-yard line.
See, that's a nice decision. Now, Brandon Stokely's been running deep. You're Jason Sehorn, and they've been going by you deep. So Baltimore trying to get out of backed up, throw a quick pass to the outside, and look at Jason Sehorn. Look how far he's off the receiver now. He's going to make sure that football is thrown before he comes up to try to make the tackle.
Pickup of 7 makes it 2nd and 3. Lewis to the 20. Ryan Phillips with the stop. And it'll be a 3rd and 2. Clock continues to move. We come up on 3:15 to play here in the first half.
You know, it's interesting talking to Trent Dilfer about the Giant defense. He says they do so many things. There is no way I could learn them all this week. And he goes, you know what? I'm really comfortable with the fact that I'm not going to learn it all. And I'm just going to go out in the game and react to what I see.
Big defensive down for the Giants right here. Dilfer lobs it high and long, complete. It is Qadri Ismail, and Ismail is tripped up by Dave Thomas. 44 yards, and that gets the Ravens out of the hole.
Well, Greg, we talked about it earlier. I don't know why the Giants are being so aggressive now. The one thing this Baltimore Ravens offense will do, I'm not saying they do it real well, they will throw it deep and try to get big plays in the passing game. Make them throw it, complete a bunch of passes, have a lot of good runs before they can score. When you take chances, you blitz them, you try to pressure the quarterback, you're letting Trent Dilfer off the hook.
This changes the tone of these last couple of minutes here in the first half. Dilfer with the give to Lewis, and Lewis is down at about the 35-yard line. A pickup of 1. It is 2nd and 9, and with that we come to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play here in the first half of Super Bowl 35. 7-0 Baltimore. In sync, Aerosmith, Britney Spears, Mary J. Blige, and Nelly coming up next on the E-Trade Super Bowl 35 halftime show. You know, you got to go a ways to beat Sting in the pregame. I thought he was outstanding.
What about Ray Charles? How good was that?
What about Ray Charles? Yeah.
Well, they were all terrific, but Ray Charles. My mom used to play his records and wake me up on Sunday mornings.
2 minutes to play. 2nd and 9. Dilfer to throw. Down the middle, incomplete. Intended for Qadri Ismail.
The one thing you cannot accuse Trent Dilfer of, and that is not having a strong arm. I mean, he can let that football go, and we said earlier, he is just so happy to be back in this stadium because of the weather. I saw him a couple weeks ago up in Baltimore. He goes, oh, I don't know how you do it. How can you throw in this cold weather? I can't grip it. I can't throw it. I got no touch. And well, he survived it, did a pretty good job, and happy to be back here in the warm weather.
Jermaine Lewis is into the game as a wide receiver. That's Stokely in motion, and Dilfer to throw. Out here into the flat, and that's complete to Lewis. And Lewis slapped out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. And now, more than just the usual little jawing as players converge on the other side of the out-of-bounds line. And the wrestling continues. Looks like Jesse Armstead is there, so is Patrick Johnson. Now we were talking with Jerry Austin, the referee, on Friday morning about the rules and the regulations. Anybody who throws a punch and connects would be ejected. But this appeared to be just a full-scale wrestling match.
Nice catch on the outside. Jermaine Lewis. I can't see what happens. There's so many people around, I couldn't tell who was in the fight and who was grabbing and pulling.
We'll just call it a loud disagreement for now.
Yeah, that's about all it was.
Line of scrimmage, the 29-yard line. Matt Stover to attempt a 47-yard field goal. It is up, it is long enough, and it is good. Brian Billick, pleased to see it split the uprights, and with 1:41 to play, the Ravens lead by 10. Flash back to that completion to Qadri Ismail down the sideline, and it changed the whole tone of the last few minutes of this first half.
Yeah, it did. It was a terrific throw by Trent Dilfer, but I noticed after that throw, the Giants did not come up and try to pressure the Ravens offense anymore. I don't expect to see it too much in the second half either.
Ball bounces past Dixon, who picks it up and looks for room to run, and is fast running out of it and goes down, and he is hit by Brad Jackson, who looked like he grabbed the face mask. There was more yellow on the field than anything else.
Personal foul, face mask, 50 of the kicking team, 15 yards, first down.
There's Ron Dixon. And Brad Jackson, second-year linebacker out of Cincinnati, the offending Raven. So instead of being at the 10-yard line, the line of scrimmage now moves out to about the 28.
Well, that might change the Giants' thinking right here. You can go ahead and be a little aggressive. Instead of being backed up, you're now to your own 28.
Both teams, all of their timeouts left. 1:34 to play. Collins steps up, throws, has his man. Ron Dixon, and Dixon out to the 44-yard line and a first down. 16 yards, and the Giants are in a hurry-up.
The hurry-up offense it's become so much easier for the quarterback now that they have a transmitter in their helmet. Kerry Collins is up there calling the play. The coach is talking in his ear what to call.
The give straight up the middle and on the move across the 40, inside Tiki Barber all the way inside the 30-yard line. Finally run out of bounds by Rod Woodson. Tiki Barber chewing up yardage on the very field his twin brother Rondé covers as a cornerback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well, Greg, we said earlier, we think, we know now that the New York Giants, they have found out offensively what they're going to do the rest of the game. Spread it out all over the field and run some draws. That's how you can run the football against the Ravens, and just make it a throwing contest. And Kerry Collins is an excellent thrower of the football.
From the 29. Collins pumps, goes, throws it over, and it is intercepted at the 2-yard line by Chris McAllister. Collins pulled it down and then put it up for grabs.
Yes, he did. He threw it up for grabs. Nobody is open. Kerry Collins trying to avoid the pressure. You got to know, this game, when you get down inside, scores are extremely important. The Giants were in field goal range. They might have given up 3 points that time. Boy, nice job by Chris McAllister.
Kerry Collins and Jim Fossil. Well, you know, Jim Fossil was thinking, and you have the feeling Collins knew his mistake as soon as he let go.
You got to know, and I know Kerry Collins has already made this evaluation on the sideline. You're going to drop back many times and nobody's going to be open. You got to get rid of the football, throw it away. Every play is not going to be a positive one down the field.
1st and 10. Penalty marker is down, and breaking to the outside is Jamal Lewis to the 20 and down at about the 24-yard line. Jason Sehorn makes the stop. 19-yard gain for Lewis. Offsides against the Giants.
Offside, 99 defense, penalty is declined, 1st down.
47 seconds remaining. Penalty is on Christian Peter. Over there at the pirate ship, Jim Nance and company will have first half analysis on the Super Bowl Today halftime report. That's coming up shortly. From the 24, Jamal Lewis across the 25 to the 26-yard line, and the clock continues to move. Under 40 seconds for the first half. Jim Fossil looks on. And if you think history is a factor, then things are looking pretty good for the New York Giants right now. You've never liked history, have you?
I'm not a big history buff. That's right, Greg. But that last drive by the Giants offense, that's gonna put a little sting on them when they go in at halftime, knowing they had a chance to get some points and they let it slip away.
What's the bigger factor, the knowledge that they can move it, or the fact that they failed?
Well, right now I think it's the fact that they failed, because moving the football, as we've seen this first half, is not very easy against the Ravens defense.
We have come to the end of the first half. The Ravens with a 10-0 lead, and let's go down to Armin Katayan with Brian Billick.
Coach, 10 huge points in the first half. Is the game now in the hands of your defense?
Well, this has kind of been the MO for us. It's only the halftime. We still have to do some things offensively. We can't get too conservative, but this has obviously been our MO all year long.
All right, Coach. Good luck. Greg, back to you.
All right, Armin. Our halftime score, the Baltimore Ravens 10 and the New York Giants nothing. Coming up, we have the E-Trade Super Bowl 35 halftime show featuring live performances by Aerosmith, NSYNC, and much more. The E-Trade Super Bowl 35 halftime show coming your way after these messages from your local station. Halftime at Super Bowl 35. Greg Gumbel along with Phil Simms. The Ravens lead it by a score of 10-0, just as they did 2 weeks ago out in Oakland. 10-0 score at halftime. Do the Giants have some hope here in the second half, Phil?
Oh, yeah, Greg. You got to realize they're still in the game, of course, only down 10-0. But the Giants, I think they figured out what they want to do offensively. Spread it out, throw the football, a lot like the Jets did to the Baltimore Ravens in the last regular season game. And also on defense, don't gamble, make Trent Dilfer string together about a 10-play drive to score, and I think that's the Giants' best chance of coming back.
Were it not for some mistakes, they'd easily be on the board. Let's check in with Bonnie Bernstein. Bonnie.
Greg, if I didn't know any better, I think Phil Simms was actually in the locker room because all the points he made, exactly what Jim Fossil talked about. He talked about maybe taking a couple plays from the Jets playbook when that got ahead. Spread them out. He said, I'm not going to max protect more. My offensive linemen just need to get to their defense quicker. And on defense, he said, we have to stop the big play and believe we're going to win this game. Greg?
Bonnie, thank you. You know, we keep flashing back during timeouts, Phil, to the game between the Baltimore Ravens and the New York Jets, where the Jets piled up all kinds of yardage, but mistakes by the Jets cost them that football game, and Jermaine Lewis returning 2 punts for touchdowns.
I heard that so much leading up to the Super Bowl game, Greg. Is it mistakes by the Jets or just really good plays by the Ravens defense? When you got really good players on the other side, it's hard to dominate them over a period of time to score touchdowns, and we've seen that so far here tonight.
The Giants were 0 for 7 on 3rd down in the first half. They turned the ball over twice, had 5 3-and-outs, and ran just 3 plays inside Baltimore territory. Phil, do you remember the days when halftime was just the local high school marching band?
Hey, I do, Greg. I had a chance to play in one Super Bowl in the 86 season, 87. I remember going in at halftime and going, okay, it's going to be a long wait. Just relax, and whatever I've done before, I just did it slower. And really, people make a big deal out of it, but these are well-trained professional athletes. I think they can deal with the extra 10 minutes.
The kickoff is going to sail down and picked up by Jermaine Lewis. Lewis to the 20, to the 30, to the 40. Back toward midfield, tripped up across the 45-yard line, and there is a penalty marker down back at the 30. 42-yard return pending this call. And we'll take it back. And Jermaine Lewis is something and can turn a game around.
Of the receiving team during the run back. 10 yards, first down.
Look at some halftime numbers and see where any domination occurred. There really wasn't a whole lot.
Well, the Giants had a couple big plays towards the end of the first half that jumped that yardage up over 100 yards. They got 116, and the Ravens, couple big plays. They overall offensively, they got to be happy with some of the plays they made, but the opportunities, they were there more for the Ravens. They had a chance to have a big lead.
Baltimore starts in a one-back offense. Jamal Lewis is there. Penalty marker flies as Lewis takes the handoff and is out to about the 24-yard line. And now let's check the marker. Jerry Austin, 19 years as an NFL official.
75 defense, 5 yards, still first down.
The penalty is on Keith Hamilton. This is his 3rd Super Bowl, and we're talking with the officiating crew and how they're chosen. Well, they're chosen on the basis of merit, and on his calls this year, Jerry Austin was 97% accurate.
Man, that sounds pretty good, and it was nice talking to him. Of course, he's extremely excited to be doing this game. All the officials are, and like you said, Greg, his 3rd Super Bowl, and he says, I'm not nervous once the game starts.
I'm not even 90% accurate on the replay. 1st and 5, Dilfer. Quick drop, quick slant. Oh, what a grab by Brandon Stokely. And Stokely wrestled to the ground across the 30, and that's enough for a first down.
I remember a couple weeks ago talking to Brian Billick. They were playing the AFC Championship game against the Raiders, and he goes, if you guys are talking to us in 2 weeks, it's going to be because of Priest Holmes, who didn't turn out to do a whole lot in the championship game, and Brandon Stokely. Didn't catch a lot of passes against the Raiders, but we can see he has been featured much more tonight.
A look at Brandon Stokely as he comes out to the bottom of your screen. Lewis and Holmes in the backfield. The give is to Lewis. Straight ahead for just a couple. Pick up of 2, and it'll be 2nd and 8. Well, it was billed as a defensive battle.
It didn't let down in the first half. You know, you can always do this. You take away a couple plays, and both offenses, the yardage, it could have been under 100 for both teams. And there's Marvin Lewis and John Fox, the defensive coordinators.
2nd and 8. Lewis flares out, takes the pass, cuts back inside, across the 40 to about the 41-yard line. A pickup of 4, and it'll be 3rd and 4. And let's check out the play on iVision.
Well, let's check it out and see what it looks like for a running back to catch the pass. Swing it out to the right. Trent Dilfer, look at that. Looks like he's wide open, going to get a lot of yards. Looks up the field and watch the defenders close in around you. In the NFL, those big holes you see close very quickly.
3rd and 4. Dilfer. Hit and dropped at the 33-yard line. Michael Strahan, Cornelius Griffin closed on the quarterback.
Well, Michael Strahan said, I'm just going to run right through Harry Swain, and I know he's going to be looking for me to do that. So when I decide to go around him, he won't be able to block me, and that's what happened that time. And Trent Dilfer has been holding his hand some tonight, and this time it's the left hand, which does get hit a lot from the quarterback position. It's in front of you, and they hit it as they go through on the sack.
Tiki Barber back to his own 20-yard line, now drifts back to the 16. Looking for running room, coming to the near side, gets a block and is out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. Trent Dilfer back, gets hit, and the second man up hits that arm, and down he goes.
Don't go there. Don't go there. $1. Get a life. Get a life. Love you, but I'm not in love with you.
Do you have Not If You're the Last Man on Earth?
Oh, yeah. Off to the hand.
I think your sister's pretty.
Think your sister's pretty. Think your sister's pretty.
What's up?
What's up? Because I'm your mother, that's why.
Need to crunch something?
Thank you.
Grab a new Snickers Cruncher. Crispy rice, peanuts, and chocolate. Crunchy.
Do you have, don't worry, it happens to lots of guys?
Yeah.
Hungry? Crunch this.
The Washington Post, Entertainment Weekly, Rolling Stone, the New York Times, and 3 Emmys in a row say Dave's the best in late night.
You go, girl!
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Armin Katayan back here at the Super Bowl. Right behind me, you can see the Ravens training staff working feverishly on the left hand of Trent Dilfer. They just brought some ice over. I was watching him very carefully. In fact, he just walked by me. He looks like he's going into the locker room. And as you can see, Greg, we've got Tony Banks warming up. I'll keep you up to date on it.
All right, Armin. Meanwhile, the New York Giants on the ground with Tiki Barber, and Barber across the 20 to about the 23-yard line. Now, Trent Dilfer took over for Tony Banks. Banks started this season as the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. He replaced Banks on the 29th of October against Pittsburgh and has gone 10-1 as the starting quarterback for the Ravens. Banks throwing on the sideline, Dilfer on his way to the locker room. We'll keep you informed. On 2nd and 8. Collins steps up and runs, slides down at the 29-yard line. He'll be a couple of yards short of a first down. It'll be 3rd and 3, and there's Dilfer.
I got to say, that left hand must be in a lot of pain or discomfort. Otherwise, Craig, I don't want to sound callous, but it is his left hand. And a game like this, just tape it up. You got to tape it tight. You deal with the pain and throw it with that right hand.
We are told that they are going to x-ray his left pinky. Giants 0 for 7 on 3rd down, looking at a 3rd and 3 here. Over the middle. Ike Hilliard, 1st down across the 35-yard line.
That's the one thing I've noticed in the playoffs so far this year for the Baltimore Ravens. When you throw short passes over the middle, watch Ike Hilliard. It's a blitz. He finds the open spot. And you can see, well, once you catch it, the Baltimore defenders are going to run right at you. Rod Woodson, Kim Herring getting big hits on Ike Hilliard.
Here's Tony Banks on the sideline. Collins pulls it down and goes down. Collins waited, and then time ran out. Michael McCrary in on the quarterback.
Well, all you hear about Michael McCrary, and everybody talks about him, number 99, here he comes, is just effort. Every coach that plays against the Ravens talks about his effort, and that time he gets a sack by crawling on the ground.
Crawled the last 3 yards to the quarterback.
Well, go ahead, Greg. We got to tell you a little story about Michael McCrary. And
he is perhaps the most active man on the defensive line, and by every account, the worst dancer on the team. 2nd and 18. Collins, drop, throws, intercepted. Kim Herring stepped in front of the receiver and took it away.
Here's what happens. Their defense, the Baltimore defense, again, they don't take their eyes off the quarterback. Kim Herring is number 20. Here he is. Look at him looking at Kerry Collins. He falls back inside as he looks at Kerry Collins' eyes and makes the interception. He comes off the guy he is covering, the receiver, comes back in front of Ike Hilliard for the interception. What's it look like for the quarterback? Tremendous pocket. And as Kerry Collins lets it go at the last second, here comes the defender.
Collins now intercepted 3 times on the last 4 New York drives. 1st down Ravens from the Giant 41, and Jamal Lewis left side to about the 36, and Tony Banks is the quarterback. Tony Banks during the regular season, 8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, completed almost 55% of his passes.
Well, you know, he had to come down here with some mixed feelings this weekend. He even talked about it a little, to be the starting quarterback for a team, and had a couple really big games, did well. Then they went through the month of October without scoring any touchdowns.
Here is a look at Trent Dilfer. Banks on 2nd and 5. The give is to Lewis, and Lewis pulls his way forward, close to a 1st down, close to the 30-yard line.
You know, if you... Trent Dilfer's going to get in shape walking to this x-ray room.
And so is Armin Katsanian.
Yeah, Armin Katsanian too. I got it if you need it.
So they continue to figure out what Trent Dilfer's status is.
Right,
meanwhile,
let me get
1st down, Baltimore at the 31. Lewis dips to the outside, and then runs into a horde of Giant defenders led by Mike Barrow, number 58.
Well, the Giants now should crowd the line of scrimmage. Tony Banks comes in. You have a 10-0 lead.
That's Edwin Mulatalo getting off the field, or getting off the floor with without his helmet.
And you got to think the Baltimore Ravens are going to be conservative and run the football in obvious situations.
Ravens scored twice as many points as they allowed this year. Their average margin of victory, 16. Their average margin of defeat was 8.
Lucky, Jim.
2nd and 9. Banks to throw. Batted down as it crossed the line of scrimmage.
You know, Greg, we talk so much about Baltimore's defense and all the things that are going on. This Baltimore offensive line doesn't get enough credit. Let's watch Tony Banks' first pass. Quick drop. Keith Hamilton gets that big arm up and knocks it down. But the one thing that's impressed me about the Baltimore offensive line and their offense so far in the postseason has been they can line up every once in a while and run right at you and really pick up a couple big first downs to eat up clock and change field position.
On 3rd and 9, they give it to Priest Holmes. And Holmes inside the 25-yard line, and that will bring the field goal unit on.
You see Brian Billick? Nice job, nice job. And we've had a few laughs over that. We've seen him go 3 and out at midfield, and he'll look at his players, goes, it's okay, good job.
Matt Stover has a field goal in the first half. He kicked 35 on the season to lead the NFL, and he is the Pro Bowl kicker coming from the AFC. This one from 41 yards out is no good. The Giants dodge a bullet and will take over when we come back. Budweiser.com airship over Tampa. Budweiser salutes America's champions since 1876. During that commercial break, Baltimore quarterback Trent Dilfer came trotting back onto the field.
I was going to say Paul McGuire's mouth is watering this time. An old friend, thought I'd say that.
Meanwhile, Kerry Collins from the shotgun. With time, throws far side of the field. Tiki Barber, and right there to hit him was Chris McAllister. A pickup of 1, 2nd and 9. Armin Kateya.
Thanks, Greg. I've spent about the last 5 minutes chasing down Trent through the hallways here. It's his left ring finger and his little pinky finger that's in pain. We were walking with him. I said, is it broken? He said, you'll be the first to know. I spoke to him later. It doesn't seem to be as serious as it looks. They took him in for the x-rays, but there's definitely blood on it, and it is definitely sore. At this point in time, I'd say he's questionable. Back to you.
All right, Armin. Meanwhile, we have a pass across midfield, and the question is whether or not Ike Hilliard held onto the ball and fumbled it, or whether it is an incomplete pass, and now the officials say it's incomplete.
Pass is ruled incomplete. Incomplete pass. 3rd down.
That's what it looked like, Greg. It looked like Ike Hilliard does not get complete possession of the football and make a football move, and it's pretty close.
It was awful close.
I got to see it again. Right. He has possession. The ball does slide just a little, and then it's knocked out. The Ravens might challenge it.
They won't get a chance to challenge it now. The pass to Barber. Barber eludes one tackler and is hit from behind. Gets out to the 38-yard line. He is about 3 or 4 yards shy of a first down. McCrary and Ray Lewis on the stop, and we have more shoving at midfield.
Well, McCrary comes and makes the hit from behind, and as he was getting up, I guess he was giving a little extra to Tiki Barber, and Tiki Barber holds on to him. But that was a good example of the Ravens defense. The running back catches it, and you turn up the field, and all of a sudden, 3 defenders are delivering the blow to you.
6th time tonight, the Giants have gone 3 and out. This punt ties the Super Bowl record for most punts in a game by both teams. Lewis. And it lands out of bounds. 4:29 to play in the 3rd quarter of Super Bowl 35. Next Sunday, the Brightest Stars show off in Honolulu at the 2001 Pro Bowl. Check your local listings for time and channel. As the Ravens go back on offense, Trent Dilfer back in the lineup. Well, he doesn't even have that thing wrapped.
Letting that blood just hang out there, Greg. I know you'd do that.
I'd be on my way to the hospital.
That's right, you'd be in an ambulance.
First down, Dilfer to throw. Has time down the middle. It is incomplete. Shannon Sharp had his man beaten at midfield and couldn't hold on.
Well, the Giants worried about the deep pass, so they double cover both wide receivers. So that means there's just a linebacker running down the middle of the field with Shannon Sharp, perfect throw by Trent Dilfer. And Ryan Phillips, tough coverage for him to run down the middle, no help against one of the better downfield receiving tight ends in the National Football League.
Trent Dilfer has had a number of almost tonight. 2nd and 10. Dilfer going to go deep down the sideline. This time Sehorn draws a beat on it, but it falls out of bounds. Patrick Johnson was there, but Sehorn wasn't fooled by any moves on this one. And now Michael McCrary, who suffered a gash to his forehead, is on his way to the dressing room.
You know, Greg, go back to that last pass by Trent Dilfer. When you got a lead like the Ravens do, the long pass is the safest pass. You know, trouble comes from throwing it over the middle, the ball getting tipped, a defender's stepping in front, making an interception. When you throw it deep, it's harder for the defenders to come up with interceptions.
Dilfer to throw on 3rd and 10. Hit as he releases the ball, and it's incomplete. Keith Hamilton in on Dilfer, who gets up protecting that left hand.
Well, Keith Hamilton just had a terrific year this year. In the middle of your screen, number 75, and Michael Strahan gets there. They just overpower Baltimore's offensive line. And if they weren't hitting Trent Dilfer all these times, Trent Dilfer would have about 300 yards passing, because receivers are getting open for the Baltimore Ravens down the field.
This sets the Super Bowl record for the most punts in a game. And it's a dandy by Kyle Richardson Barber from the 35. To the 45. Oh, what a collision at the 45-yard line. Anthony Davis, the 7th-year linebacker out of Utah. And again, there is more than just a little bit of conversation on the far side of the field. 3:58 to play in the 3rd quarter, and Tiki Barber on the sideline trying to recover from an awfully tough hit.
Watch that hit. Billy Davis, you heard Jerry Glanville talking about it at halftime. That is a big hit. The one thing I've noticed watching this Ravens defense during the postseason, offensive players look for the ground a lot of times because they can see the big hits coming.
Picked off. Dwayne Stark's going to take it to the end zone for the touchdown.
Now you know why offensive teams use double moves on the Baltimore Ravens, because when they read something and react, watch Dwayne Starks. Oh, he saw the quick drop. He played it all the way and comes up with an easy interception. That is just being smart, studying the opposing team. You know, on a quick drop, it could be a slant. He gambles, makes the interception.
Dwayne Starks led this Baltimore team with 6 interceptions during the regular season. That's his 3rd in this postseason. Stover's extra point attempt is good. 3:49 to play in the 3rd quarter. The Baltimore Ravens have jumped now to a 17-0 lead.
By Kerry Collins through the interception. Watch Dwayne Starks. Here he is. He gets help from a safety. So it's not so much as he's so smart. He doesn't have to worry if the wide receiver goes deep. He's got somebody back there to cover him. So when he sees the quarterback take a quick drop, he goes, I'm gone, because nothing bad can happen to him. And Kerry Collins was fooled by the coverage.
Those 4 interceptions tie a Super Bowl record held by several quarterbacks. Drew Bledsoe, the last to throw 4 interceptions in a Super Bowl game. Ron Dixon inside the 5-yard line. Breaks through the 30, the 40. He's gone. Ron Dixon to the 10, the 5, touchdown. "97 yards matches the kickoff return against the Philadelphia Eagles in their first playoff game this postseason.
Well, there might be a question who the fastest guy on the Ravens is, but there's no question with the New York Giants. Dixon is the fastest guy, and you can see once he sees a little bit of opening, he is gone. And he has come on late in the season for the Giants in special teams and at the wide receiver position.
The extra point by Daloiso is good. And just like that, the Giants cut the Ravens' lead back to 10.
The New York Giants, they had to be as down as you could ever get for a football team being in the Super Bowl, but it changes like that. They know, okay, the game is not over. There's Larry McDuff, the special teams coach. Oh, that's got to feel good to him. Under a lot of pressure during the season.
That is the 4th longest kick return in Super Bowl history. And with 3:31 to play in the third, the Giants have new life.
See, the Ravens have such terrific team speed. I never thought they would give up a big return. Because of that speed, they get down the field so fast. But that time, well, that time they left a big gap and Dixon went right through it.
We have seen 2 touchdowns in 18 seconds.
Well, it just changes everything. Now the Giant defense, hey, got some hope, get some enthusiasm, go out there and stop them in 3 plays, and you could be right back in it.
Daloiso to kick. It's going to be short. From the 17 is Jermaine Lewis, and Lewis with room to run. Breaks to the outside, to the 45, the 50, down the sideline, and he's going to go. It's a track meet.
That is unbelievable.
Number 84 goes 84 yards, and the Ravens answer the only way you can.
I got to tell you, I think the short kickoff really hurt the Giants' return, our defense getting down there. Look at the blocks. Corey Harris gets a terrific block, and then Jermaine Lewis just runs by the tacklers for the touchdown.
3 touchdowns in 36 seconds. Stover's extra point is good.
Well, let's see how it looks to be a returner in the National Football League. A bunch of guys running right at you. Jermaine Lewis, he looks up the field. What does he see? Breaks it to the outside. And he sees a corner, and he knows, and Corey Harris, good job of just getting in the way, makes the block. It makes Emmanuel McDaniel turn around, and has just enough to create the lane for the touchdown run.
What a great job of walking the sideline Jermaine Lewis did. And the Ravens, who had been crushed by Ron Dixon's return, all of a sudden, they're the ones that are up in arms.
Dude, you know how you angle kick when you're a punter, you kick it out of bounds? We might have the first kickoff on purpose. Just kick it out of bounds. See what happens.
Well, with people running out of breath, the odds go up.
Oh, that is something. And I think before the game, I was asked by many people, what about special teams? What a non-factor. They won't even be a factor in the game. 2 weeks to get ready. These teams will not give up big plays in the special team area.
Let's see what we get on this one. Ron Dixon from the 17. Going to go the other way. Nothing there, and finally brought down at the 25-yard line. Corey Harris making the stop. Tuesday on America's #1 action drama, Jag, a NATO war game turns deadly when 2 battleships collide. You won't believe who's to blame. Don't miss this all-new episode of Jag, Tuesday on CBS. Greg Gumbel, Phil Simms, Armin Katayan, Bonnie Bernstein, and you wanted to say.
I'm just sorry, you know, the Raven defense is good enough, but you know, they're also good, as we saw with Kerry Collins' last pass. They're good at disguising what they're going to do, and it fooled Kerry Collins, who's been in the league long enough not to fall for those tricks.
The give is to Tiki Barber. And number 91, Lionel Dalton, a third-year defensive lineman out of Eastern Michigan, makes the stop. A little bit of history here tonight. This marks the first Super Bowl as the Giants go into a hurry-up. The first Super Bowl has seen 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns. 2nd and 11. Collins over the middle, knocked down, almost intercepted by Ray Lewis.
You know, it's 24-7. You still got the third quarter. Watch as Kerry Collins throws this pass here. But watch Tiki Barber. The one thing that's hard for a quarterback or a team, be patient. Be patient. Take what is still there. Don't change your plans in the game. You're still going to get 3 or 4 more possessions. You got to take advantage of wide open receivers.
3rd down. Collins under the gun, gets rid of it, incomplete. Number 95, Big Sam Adams, on his way to his first Pro Bowl, applying the pressure.
And you know, Greg, I don't know, Sam Adams, I think, has 2 sacks this year. Number 95, double teamed. He's about 335 or 40 pounds, but terrific feet and pressures the quarterback quite often. Just doesn't get there to get that sack.
The early word we get about defensive end Michael McCrary is a fractured left hand. Jermaine Lewis is deep. Calls for the fair catch and makes the catch at the 35-yard line. 2:19 to play here in the 3rd, and tomorrow night is Super Monday on CBS. See what happens when the TV goes out during the Super Bowl on the King of Queens. Then guess who guest stars on the new comedy hit Yes Dear? It would be myself and my partner Phil Simms. Well, don't miss television's highest-rated comedy, Everybody Loves Raymond, followed by a Super Becker starring Ted Danson with a special guest appearance by our own Mike Ditka. Monday's #1 drama, Family Law. It's all here Monday on CBS.
Wow.
Sounds like Sunday on Monday nights.
Yeah, no, you the guest, I'm the star, though. I just want you to know that. In case there was any...
Never had a doubt.
In case you were confused. Okay.
Jamal Lewis and Sam Gash in the backfield. Lewis gets the handoff, tries the right side across the 35 to about the 37.
But you got to admit, the people of yesterday are pretty smart. We go there and do our appearance, and they give you all the speaking lines, and I just sat there. And I did that well.
You did. You were outstanding.
Thank you.
Here comes Michael McCrary.
He's not going to miss this. His hand might hurt, but you're leading 24-7. You know, the other offense is going to throw the football. Good time to be a good defensive lineman.
You know, we're not going to let it go either. We told you about his dancing. We're going to get to it soon. Trent Dilfer, deep drop. Throws over the middle. That's complete close to midfield to Ben Coates. Coates with the reception for the 1st down at the 48-yard line.
Trent Dilfer's taken as many big hits as a quarterback in the Super Bowl that I've seen in a long time. But he hangs in there. You know, Brian Billick says he might not be the prettiest quarterback. Michael Strahan gets the hit on him, but he says he's very resourceful. You know, people, you know, we jump on him too quick sometimes. He has the big arm. He moves around their back, or moves around better than people give him credit for. And as we've seen tonight, he can stand in there, deliver the football when pressure's in front of him.
Dilfer 10 for 23, 131 yards and a touchdown. And they'll keep it on the ground here. Lewis dipped to the outside and is cut down as he approaches midfield by Jason Sehorn.
When you're talking about feeling comfortable, the Ravens, they've only been in this position about, I don't know, 15 times this year, where they get a lead and they go, okay, here we go on offense, take your time. And Trent Dilfer's job is to snap the football with about 1 second left on the clock.
Well, he'll have to get a snap off here before time expires in the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 8. Takes the play clock down to about 6. Fakes, rolls, throws, has his man. And the 45-yard line is Shannon Sharp. And with that, time will expire here in the 3rd quarter. That is the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. Baltimore 24, the New York Giants 7. We'll come back after this message. And a word from your local station. You're watching Super Bowl 35 on CBS. Is the rookie Ron Dixon taking an IV. He's worn out. He's been running up and down the field.
That's amazing what they can do now, isn't it?
From the 45-yard line. Out of the shotgun, that's Lewis, Jermaine Lewis, and he keeps it to about the 42. Trent Dilfer went to the wide receiver slot.
Well, right away, you got to know it's a run. Trent Dilfer splits out as a wide receiver. That eliminates a lot of problems for a defense. That's not nice. But you know what it was? Just a diversion the Ravens are trying to create to pick up a first down to knock off about another 3 or 4 minutes on the clock.
Kyle Richardson comes on, had 2 punts blocked in the playoff game against Tennessee. Ike Hilliard at his own 10-yard line. No one will block this one as Richardson gets it away. And the fair catch is called for and made at the 8-yard line, and for the 4th time tonight, Richardson pins the Giants inside their 20.
Giants trailing the Ravens 24-7. New York's elder statesman Lomas Brown just rallied the troops. He said, "Gentlemen, this is our last call. Leave it all on the field." Arma Katayan.
Bonnie, Marvin Lewis just gave them a little pep talk over here. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, he said. Let's outwork them. Let's finish it right now. Greg, back to you.
Armand, Bonnie, thank you. 14 minutes, 13 seconds remaining to a championship. The Ravens lead at 24-7. Kerry Collins from the shotgun at his own 8-yard line. Pulls it down, rolls, throws, underthrows Tiki Barber, who is then undercut on the far side of the field. It's incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Well, the one thing you always look at, and we talk about so many things in the NFL now about why teams winning and, you know, what's the new thing, they're throwing the football. But, boy, it's amazing how it always comes back to the big and the strong. And so far in this game, the Ravens have been bigger and they're stronger, and they basically have overpowered the New York Giants.
They have been the biggest and the strongest all season long. Collins lost the football. It's on the ground inside the 5-yard line. And the officials say the Giants have recovered.
See, that's the difference. When you play this team, and as a quarterback, when you move, you've got to know somebody is chasing you. And especially when you're playing the Ravens, Michael McCrary chases everything down. He never stops. Watch Kerry Collins. He looks down the field. What's he see? Nobody open. Moves out, and you can see Michael McCrary come all the way around Lomas Brown and gets rewarded for his hustle.
McCrary, fractured right hand, no problem. Caused the fumble. 3rd and 14. Here comes the blitz. Collins gets rid of it. Throws incomplete. Number 84, Joe Juravicius, was the Giant closest to the ball, and the Giants have to kick it away.
Kerry Collins, you know, everybody talked about you need to throw the football against this Raven defense. When we talked to him, Greg, I think he was hoping to watch films and go, okay, maybe we can. You look at the films, and one of the first things that jumps out to you is what? Man, their corners are really, really good.
The Giants will talk about after this game, should it go on like this, their inability to convert on 3rd down. They are now 1 of 11 on 3rd down tonight. Maynard kicks. The ball will bounce at the 40 and take a Ravens bounce. And the Giants are going to hope that that touched the Baltimore Ravens. And the officials say no.
I think it bounced over the Raven defender.
Let's take another look. That's Chris McAllister.
Right over him.
I believe in Kentucky, Phil, they would say that is fortuitous. 13:02 to play. To play in the 4th quarter, the Ravens with the ball in a 24-7 lead. As you look at Trent Dilfer, we talked with Matt Cavanaugh earlier in the week. He said, I feel in my heart that if we had to go out and throw 30 times, that Trent Dilfer would do real well. But they have a formula, and they're about to stick to it right now. Jamal Lewis with the carry. Matt Cavanaugh says our formula with the lead, we pound the football, take time off the clock, and don't turn it over.
You know, it's a tough way to play quarterback. Trent Dilfer in Tampa Bay, a little discontent because they weren't throwing the football enough. He wanted to be the focal point of the offense. He goes up to Baltimore. They got a really good defense. You don't get the throw line, and it's hard to get in rhythm. It makes it hard for a quarterback. It's like saying to somebody in a basketball team, play defense for 2 quarters, then the 3rd quarter, well, shoot, make us a couple baskets. That's kind of how it is for a quarterback, but he has dealt with it very well, and that's helping him have success.
Jamal Lewis, the lone back behind him, and he's going to throw. Throws over the middle, has his man inside the 25-yard line, Ben Coates, who has suddenly become a factor on offense tonight for the Baltimore Ravens. 17 yards and a first down.
Well, they kind of call this a seam pass, the Baltimore Ravens do. Metcalf, look at the blitz coming in there. Jesse Armstead. Ben Coates to the top of the screen. Again, Ryan Phillips one-on-one all down the field. Pretty tough coverage, and boy, look at the size of Ben Coates. Looks like a lineman. He looks so much bigger than a big linebacker in Ryan Phillips.
Ben Coates caught 9 passes all season long. He has 3 catches tonight for 30 yards. Clock continues to move, 11.5 to play. Lewis, left side. Inside the 20-yard line before he's pushed backwards by Cedric Jones, Jesse Armstead, and others. A pickup of 2 on the play.
You know, when you see a defense like the Ravens, we've seen tonight it's big and physical. And then now on the other side, they got an offense that really matches it. When you practice against that Raven defense all the time, what's it do? It makes you pretty tough, too. And this Baltimore offensive line is physical. They don't mind sitting up there slugging it out, and you keep hitting somebody, the other side gets tired.
Baltimore's red zone offense, 6 times in, 2 touchdowns, 3 field goals. Or 2 touchdowns, 3 field goals in the postseason. And there's movement up front. Cornelius Griffin, number 97. Here's Jerry Austin.
Encroachment, defense, 97, 5 yards. It's still 2nd down.
Well, we get to begin to wonder who will be this year's Super Bowl MVP. Here's your chance to help determine that. Log on to superbowl.com now and vote. Superbowl.com, powered by CBS.sportsline.com.
Well, that's going to be a tough vote in this game, I think. A lot of people have played well.
Well, that Baltimore defense is up to its pregame billing with 4 interceptions and 4 sacks tonight. Lewis steps over someone to about the 13-yard line.
You know, Greg, you go back and you listen to the players, and you remember what Tony Saragusa told us on Thursday? We're talking to him, and he goes, hey, guys, just listen to me. And he tells the truth a lot in these meetings, and I do listen to him. There's the big goose. He goes, there's no way that they can block us up front. The Giants are a finesse offensive line, and we just kill finesse teams. And you know, I don't think we disagree with that. We just thought maybe they could pass protect a little better and give Kerry Collins a chance to throw the football down the field.
Tony also said, I hope the younger guys on the team don't think, well, we'll get him next year, because he says, I might not be here next year. No one here is on a scholarship. Up the middle, Lewis stumbling inside the 5-yard line, 1st and goal.
The Ravens, when they want to run the football for power, they go over that left side. Mulatalo, number 64. The center, Mitchell, does a good job. Ogden gets his guy on the outside, and Harry Swain, all the way from right tackle, drives his defensive lineman across the formation and opens up a hole for Jamal Lewis.
Brian Billick looking to his offense to put a nail in the coffin right here from the 3-yard line. Lewis and Gash in the backfield. Dilfer's pitch to Lewis. Left side, going for the end zone. Lost the football. No, the official says touchdown.
Just do that right over there. Come on, man.
Boy, Jamal Lewis, that is tough running on the outside. Good block by Sam Gash, number 32. Michael Barrow makes the hit. And as he reached out for the goal line, let's watch it from eye vision. Does he break the plane as he reaches out?
That is awfully close.
I don't think he made it. Oh, the Giants
did get the challenge in before the kick.
The whistle did blow.
Jerry Austin going to come over to Jim Fossil.
Jim Fossil, you got nothing to lose. You got to challenge this. And here's what's going to happen. Jerry Austin's going to look at it
and make a determination as to whether or not he still had possession when he got to the goal line.
Now,
the Giants are challenging the call on the field of a touchdown.
And even though Jamal Lewis lost the football, it was blown dead, the touchdown. Now that looks different that time. The Giants cannot get the football here. They would, let's watch it here, see if we can see it, Greg.
Possession.
No.
Looks to be a touchdown because the nose all he has to get.
Yes, all he has to do is break that plane.
Well, Jerry Austin looking for a little excitement here. I think he's found some.
It's on the line, yes.
Right
touchdown.
there, that's a touchdown.
Well, we spoke too quick again.
Touchdown marks the first rushing touchdown by a rookie in the Super Bowl in 13 years. And here's another look.
Another look from eye vision. Breaks the plane of the goal line. Has possession. That was a good shot there.
Stover's extra point is good. Jamal Lewis with the rushing touchdown. The rookie makes a name for himself here in Super Bowl 35. Grand Prix Super Bowl today post-game show. Presentation of the Vince Lombardi Trophy to the new world champions, and we'll hear from the winners and losers of Super Bowl 35. That's coming up on the Wide Track Grand Prix Super Bowl today post-game show. The rookie Jamal Lewis on the sideline. His touchdown giving the Ravens a 31-7 lead. And Stover kicks it away to Dixon and Damon Washington. Dixon picks it up at the 11. Looking for running room, finds some on this side, cuts it back, and is knocked down. Lost the football at the 35-yard line. It is Ravens ball. Robert Bailey. You cannot turn the football over. The New York Giants have done that 5 times tonight. Airship, Budweiser thanks parents for talking to their kids about drinking. We all make a difference. First down, Baltimore at the Giant 34-yard line. Lewis and Chuck Evans are in the backfield. And this is Jamal Lewis. Left side, breaking tackles, inside the 25, down to the 20-yard line and a first down. Jason Sehorn dragged him down.
Such a tough spot for the New York Giant defense. Think about it, Greg. All season long, you fight, you get here in this situation. No emotion left. You know there's no way you're going to win the football game. And you got a Baltimore offense. Hey, they want to finish this thing out strong. They're on the opposite side, feeling good, feeling strong, and it's hard for the Giant defenders to bring down Jamal Lewis now.
Jamal Lewis creeping up on 100 yards. This Giant defense has allowed just one 100-yard rusher this year. That was Eddie George back on the 1st of October. Lewis, left side, 20, down to about the 17-yard line. Sean Williams and Dave Thomas with the stop. A pickup of 4, and it'll be 2nd and 6.
You know, I got a question for you. You're sitting at home. You get to vote on the Super Bowl. You can log on, and you get a chance to vote for the MVP. Well, first, let's take a look at top running back performances
by a rookie.
For rookies, and Jamal Lewis.
26 carries, 100 yards, and a touchdown.
That's not right to be a rookie and get to the Super Bowl, especially to be a featured running back.
2nd and 6. Lost the football.
Hey!
And Dilfer picked it up.
So, Greg, let me get back to my question. You got to vote. Let's go. Who are you going to vote for the MVP?
Well, I think in our conversations all week long, you and I said what Trent Dilfer has to do is go in there and control the game, not turn it over, give his defense a chance to put them in position to win, and I think that's exactly what's happened tonight.
Yeah, he's been, I think the stats lie. He did miss a couple open receivers, but he stood in there tough, threw some big passes. A couple that really kind of turned around, 7-0, and he hits Kadri Ismail down the left side right before halftime to make it 10-0, which I thought was a huge play in the game. And a perfect throw.
Lewis. Boy, and what irony. Not only does Trent Dilfer come back to Tampa, but he comes back, and right now it looks for all the world as if he will be the Super Bowl winning quarterback. If you put an MVP trophy on top of that, my goodness.
Or you can just vote for the whole Baltimore Ravens defense. But the thing about Trent Dilfer real quick that impressed me, we've talked to him now for a couple weeks. Not once has he had one word of animosity towards the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Just happy to be in the situation he's in, and just talks about all of his friendships he had with the Buccaneers.
Matt Stover from 34 yards out, and the kick is good. The Baltimore Ravens close enough to victory that they can smell it. 34-7 with 5:28 to play here in the 4th quarter. Tonight, right after the Super Bowl, 16 new castaways try to outwit, outplay, and outlast each other. Don't miss the premiere of this year's most talked about, most anticipated show, Survivor, the Australian Outback, after the Super Bowl, here on CBS.
All right, that's it. Now don't go away. You got to keep watching to see Survivor.
There is Ray Lewis. How about his story? Not just this week, but, well, it's a story that's been well documented. A year ago, his proximity to the scene of a double murder in Atlanta was such that he was charged with murder, and a charge that was eventually dropped. Lewis pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor, obstruction of justice. And as is always the case, there are two sides to every story. His side is that the legal system pursued him because of his celebrity status, and it's a system which found no reason to continue to suspect him of murder. And the other side, of course, the very sad, difficult situation the families of the two young men killed that evening see, that whoever committed the murders continues to walk free, and from their point of view, Ray Lewis still figures prominently in that equation. We sat down with Ray Lewis for more than an hour this week, and we'll talk about that as this ball bounces down to about the 7-yard line. Damon Washington picks it up and goes down at the 23-yard line. As we said, we sat with Ray Lewis for more than an hour this week, and Phil, I'd say the most promising thing that we came away with is that he is committed to contacting the families of the deceased at some point down the road, but because emotions are still understandably raw, he recognizes that now is not that time.
Yeah, he's going to wait till the time is right, Greg, he says, and try to mend some of those fences. And you know, it's a tough situation. He says that, you know, the families of the murdered boys, that it's tough right now. Their hearts are set, and he feels the timing is not right, but when it is, he will make that motion to go towards it.
Collins' throw to the sideline falls incomplete, intended for Joe Juravicius. The clock stops at 5:10 to play, and it's 2nd and 10.
Well, what a tough thing. And you think about this Ravens defense, it's so good. And then they're also fortunate, I think, to play teams who the week before had terrific offensive outputs. The Giants scored 41 points last week. They come in this game feeling really good and loose about their offense, and you go against the best defense in the league.
Collins rolling this way and throws, and that's incomplete. The ball is dropped by number 88, Ike Hilliard. Yeah, teams that come in to face the Ravens have had a lot more fun the game before. Look at Denver, 38 points, Tennessee, 31, and Oakland, 27 points, all prior to meeting the Ravens. Then look what happens. A 3, a 10, a 3, and you're right, 41 points for the Giants against the Minnesota Vikings in the NFC Championship game, and they're up with 7 points on the board and 5:03 to play here in regulation.
And look at the Giants, the difference from 2 weeks ago to tonight. Total yards, 126.
Collins throws, Barber has it. Cuts inside and is tackled at about the 27-yard line by Dwayne Starks.
That means the Giants, until that play, if I'm guessing right, have gotten 10 yards of offense in the second half. And also, you know, Greg, we talk about those outputs. All 4 games the Ravens played in the playoffs, the team before them, not only they scored a lot of points, they had shutouts too. So, you know, psychologically, or however you want to put it,
it's been tough.
Teams feel good coming in to play the Ravens.
Jermaine Lewis, penalty marker is down. As Lewis dodges the tackle, gets up to midfield, still dancing, and then dances out of bounds. At about the 48-yard line, we have a penalty marker down on this side. Jerry Austin says holding against Baltimore.
Holding during the kick. Number 21 of the receiving team, 10 yards, first down.
Well, we remind you, Thursday on CBS, CSI is the highest rated new drama of the season. Check out an all-new episode of the smash hit CSI Crime Scene Investigation when it moves to its new night, Thursday, right after Survivor, the Australian Outback, on CBS.
Well, this game's a lot like the NFL season was for us, Greg. I think that you never could predict the winners of almost any game because the league was so close. And boy, if somebody comes up and tells me they thought the Ravens were going to run away with this football game, then, well, I don't think I'll believe them.
Oh, but you know what? If I hear one more time, someone comes up and says, is the Baltimore defense really that good?
Yes.
Tony Banks is the quarterback, and the give is to Priest Holmes as the clock winds down to 4 minutes and counting to a championship.
And it really goes back, Greg, and we say these things. The Baltimore defense, Brian Billick, that has been the difference in this game. Trent Dilfer's played well, but their defense has been outstanding. And Brian Billick again says it's one thing to watch and plan to play against us, but when you come out, the reality is when you face us in person and you see the talent of all the players in our defense, it's a lot different.
On 2nd and 5, Priest Holmes again. You know, you were close, quarterback. The New York Giants have managed 14 yards here in the second half, which means that defense, there's Michael McCrary. Now, there's the dancer. There's the guy. There's the guy. And, you know, his teammates make him do a dance every Friday at practice because he's so awful.
He is. Here it is.
You know, Phil, he makes you look like Ricky Martin, you know?
Oh, now you didn't have to go that way. But Michael McCrary, you know what gets me is that he's such a terrific pass rusher and so fast that every Friday the Ravens have this little ritual they perform. He either dances.
Keith Hamilton in on Priest Holmes.
He either dances or as Ray Lewis says, we made him dribble a basketball 2 weeks ago. He can't even dribble a basketball. And I go, that is incredible.
But you know what?
To be that talented.
He plays defensive end really well.
Yes, he does really well. That's right.
Tony Siragusa. It bears repeating. He said, I tell these guys, don't give me any of that. Wait till next year's stuff because I may not be here next year. He said, no one here is on a scholarship. There is Art Modell. 40 years an owner in the National Football League. Wellington Mara, the owner of the Giants, his best friend in the NFL. 2 minutes to play in Super Bowl 35. 58 when Baltimore beat the New York Giants in the supposed greatest game ever played in the NFL. The Baltimore Sun sold a record number of newspapers the day after. Boy, they're going to sell a lot of newspapers tomorrow morning, Phil.
They want to read about that team. Nothing like reading about a champion, Greg, and it's, again, just been a dominating performance, and the big and strong continue to win the National Football League, and that's what we've seen from the Baltimore Ravens today.
Well, it was a record-setting defense that the Ravens put on the field this season. The kick to Ike Hilliard. Hilliard from his 24-yard line and down at the 26. Boy, special teams has done its work today. Offense, defense. Coming up on the Wide Track Grand Prix Super Bowl today post-game show. Presentation of the Vince Lombardi Trophy to the new world champions. We'll hear from winners and losers of Super Bowl 35. That's all on the Wide Track Grand Prix Super Bowl today post-game show, followed, of course, by Survivor, the Australian Outback.
Survivor.
I have to tell you, I have no desire to get to the Australian Outback. None whatsoever.
Yeah, but you'll watch it on TV. That's just like being there.
No, no, I hope not. Kerry Collins giving up straight ahead to Tiki Barber. And the clock moving, a minute 40 to play.
You know, as you look at Brian Billick now, he keeps talking about all week long, trying to keep the emotions of maybe winning the Super Bowl at arm's length. In other words, don't get too emotional about this, because you might have to make some important decisions as the game goes along. But now you can let it go.
The pass is complete, and Barber is brought down at about the 30-yard line. You know, these Ravens have scored today by way of the pass and the run and a defensive touchdown, and they've scored on special teams. They've done it each and every way, and convincingly.
Well, the New York Giants, what will take a little bit of the sting out of the fact that you didn't win the Super Bowl, that it wasn't a game you're going to look back and say, well, we should have won or we could have won. They were thoroughly outplayed by the Ravens, and talking to people who participated in the Super Bowl, they lost. That was the feeling. If you didn't get a chance to win it, it does take some of the hurt out of the fact that you're going to lose.
Coming up on half a minute to play in Super Bowl 35. Collins over the middle, tipped in, and it is incomplete, almost intercepted by Brad Jackson, the second-year linebacker out of Cincinnati. Brian Billick. Boy, we talked about the friendship between Art Modell and Wellington Mara. Brian Billick says, I talked with Jim Fossil the day after we each won our conference championship game. We talked again at the news conferences, but not again until they hit the field today. And it's just been announced that Ray Lewis is this game's MVP. Pass is incomplete, and Dwayne Starks was looking for another interception. There is your Super Bowl MVP. 7 tackles tonight.
Well, he got off terrific start, Greg. You remember he had some big tackles. He tipped a couple passes that could have been intercepted. He defended receivers down the field. He pressured the quarterback. So there were so many players on the defense that played well. I thought it was going to be hard to pick one of them out for the MVP award.
3rd and 10. And 16 seconds on the clock. Collins throws to the far side, and Tiki Barber out of bounds across the 45-yard line at the 46. Run out by Corey Harris. 10 seconds on the clock. The crowd is beginning to form on the Baltimore side of the field.
I thought the days of the defense were over in the National Football League, but just like last year, offense came out of nowhere. Defense became the signature here late in the season. Teams will now try to copy the Ravens' way.
Barber. Looks like he's short of a first down, but time will run out. Or at least the clock is now stopped with 3 seconds to play, but people are charging the field. Jerry Austin winds the clock, and that will bring Super Bowl 35 to an end. Ray Lewis, the MVP, and what a year that caps for the middle linebacker of the Baltimore Ravens. Art Modell A long trail for him to a Super Bowl title by way of Cleveland. Once again, the final score of Super Bowl 35, Baltimore 34, the New York Giants 7. Coming up next on CBS, the gang's all here in Tampa for the Wide Track Grand Prix Super Bowl Today post-game show. Interviews, the presentation of the Lombardi Trophy to the Super Bowl champs, and much more. Right after these messages, you've been watching Super Bowl 35 on CBS. Welcome to the Wide Track Grand Prix Super Bowl Today post-game show. The celebration on the field is in full swing for the Baltimore Ravens and their faithful. Tony Siragusa, daughter in hand, and in the other hand, a newspaper with a picture and a headline that says, Ravens win. For 2 weeks, we've been working on this game, Phil, trying to figure out if we could determine what was going to happen once these teams got here. We didn't know.
Of course, Greg. We thought it was going to be a close game. Defenses would dominate, and I didn't think it was possible, but we underestimated the Ravens defense. It's even better than I've seen in the previous 3 postseason games.
As did most people throughout the season. The Ravens have always told us, they said, hey, you know, if you see us on film, forget about that because we're much better in person.
You know what I think is also interesting? A big deal was made out of the fact the Ravens are cocky. They talk a lot. They say we're just confident. No curfew for the team. Brian Billick says, I trust my guys. And you know what? That's what they've done all year. They continue to do that down here. It worked for them, and you can see all that talking, being cocky and all that, they still know what they're doing on the field.
Yeah. All right, time for a little presentation action down on the field. Let's go down to Jim Nance. Jim?
All right, thank you, guys. I'm down here with the Modells, Ozzie Newsome, Coach Billick, Paul Tagliabue. It's time to present the Lombardi Trophy.
Art and David, the Ravens defense performed at a superb record-setting level all season throughout the regular season. It continued that performance through the playoffs, culminating with today's very, very decisive victory over a strong Giants team. We congratulate you, we congratulate all of your players and Coach Billick and his staff, your whole organization for bringing this Super Bowl championship back to Baltimore and to Baltimore's great fans for the first time in 3 decades. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner, thank you very much. To the people in Baltimore City, to the people in Baltimore County, and to the state of Maryland, this belongs to you.
Mr. Modell, for you, I know this is the completion of a dream. For the people who have followed your franchise for 40 years from Cleveland and to Baltimore, what do you have to say to them all?
I'm grateful to so many people. I want to pick out my family, my son David, my son John, Brian Billick, the best coach in the National Football League, Ozzie Newsome, and wait a second, and my boss, Pat Modell. A little chair, please.
Congratulations, Art. Congratulations. Let me bring in Brian Billick. This is an amazing thing. In just your 2nd year as the head coach in Baltimore, you're bringing the title back to Maryland. How did you do it?
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been at this profession a while, but these guys here taught me this year for the first time in 25 years in the business about what really teamwork is. And it's because of these guys right here.
Your team had a certain swagger all week. We could see it here. And on the field today, again, you just shut down the Giants, forced 5 turnovers. Tell me, does this validate your defense maybe as the best in the history of the National Football League?
I'm biased, but who cares? Someone tell me they're not. I'll argue it to the death.
Congratulations, Brian. And here, ladies and gentlemen, is the most valuable player of Super Bowl 35, voted on by a select panel from the media and by the fans on the internet. Ray Lewis, tell me about this performance by you and your defense today.
Hey, man, there's nothing like this right now. I mean, it's just ecstatic the way we just come out and we played today. It was incredible just to see the way we just came out and played as a team. But this defense has been doing this all year and never got the credit. But it's one thing they can never take away from us. We the best ever right now.
You only gave up, the Ravens, I'm speaking of, a special teams touchdown, but the defense didn't allow anything. In fact, only one touchdown did the defense give up in the entire playoffs. What was the key, though, to shutting down the Giants tonight?
Having fun. Having fun. I mean, we heard it all year. And our thing was, we know when we came out to play, we knew what we had to do. And our defense been playing like this all year long. All year. So all we came out and did today was do what we do. We didn't do nothing different. We didn't change nothing, but came out and showed that we're the best defense in NFL history.
Ray, for you, since Super Bowl night a year ago, your life has come full circle. What are your emotions standing here right now?
You know, the thing is, you know, the man upstairs tells you, I never would take you through hell without bringing you through triumph. And that's why I'm sitting up here now.
Could you have ever imagined that you would be standing here tonight as the MVP and also possessor of the Lombardi Trophy?
No. And the thing is, if you put this in a storybook, nobody wouldn't believe it.
All right, Ray. And here is, ladies and gentlemen, one of the most unbelievable stories anyone could ever pin. That's coming back to Tampa and winning the Super Bowl. Trent Dilfer, you're standing on the 50-yard line. Could you have ever imagined a better story like this for you?
No, but you know, I think everyone wants me to say how great this feels, and I'll tell you what feels better is waking up every single morning and thanking God that life can be difficult at times, knowing that if you face it, and if you let God develop character in you, and you face the adversity head on, that this is what comes out of the other end. And the process is what I've learned how to enjoy more than anything else.
I watched you walk out here on Tuesday, and you just stood here, looked up into the stands, and just imagined. Tell somebody out there what it takes to make a dream come true like this, what you've accomplished this year.
I think more than anything else, faith and perseverance. And I looked around the stadium, and I thank God for the great memories that I had here, and I thanked him for what he did in my life in 6 years here.
Hey, hand this trophy over for a moment. Trent, you can put your hands on it. There it is, the Lombardi Trophy. Belongs to the Baltimore Ravens. Congratulations, and let's go back upstairs to Greg and Phil.
We've just heard from four truly grateful people: Art Modell, Brian Billick, Trent Dilfer, Ray Lewis, the Ravens, champions of the world. And we're back to Tampa after this.
All right, coming up next on CBS, don't miss the premiere of this year's most talked about, most anticipated show, Survivor, the Australian Outback. Is coming up next, and we want to welcome you back to the Y-Track Grand Prix Super Bowl Today post-game show. Jim Nantz here along with Mike, Craig, Randy, and Jerry. I'm out of breath.
You're out of breath, and you look good, my friend. You did a great job. You're in better shape than I thought.
I want to thank security for that. How about, though, let's talk about security. How about the way the defense here for the Ravens secured it tonight, Mike?
Where do I wipe the cake off? I got to get it all off. This is a great defense. This defense can play with anybody that's ever played the game. They were tremendously impressive. What I like about them is when they get you by the throat, they go ahead and finish it. They don't let you out.
All right, Bonnie Bernstein backstage with New York Giants head coach Jim Fassel.
Jim, thank you. Coach Fassel, a lot of the talk the last 2 weeks has been about how close everybody anticipated this game to be. How surprised are you that it just wasn't?
Well, when you have 5 turnovers in a game, and you know that's what they've gotten all year is the turnover ratio. I didn't expect us to turn the ball over 5 times, not get any, and then we were, I think, 1 for 11 as we came down, and the third down conversions. You can't play football like that, and against a good team, you're going to get beat soundly.
About 5 feet away from us on the other side of the wall, Kerry Collins is getting his shoulder checked out. Did he express to you at any time during the game that something might have been up?
No, I don't think so. I think Baltimore played strong. They got an outstanding defense, which we knew coming in the game. We had to execute some things, and we had some opportunities to make some plays. And when we did, we didn't make the play, make the catch, or just get our rhythm going.
All right, Coach. Thanks for the time. Jim, we'll send it back out to you.
All right, thank you very much, Bonnie. And the Goose meets his family. He was the first one to arrive here at 1:44 today to walk the field an hour before the rest of his teammates. This is the third wild card team to win the Lombardi Trophy. The 1980 Raiders, the 97 Broncos, and now the Ravens. 34-7, and the Ravens are the Super Bowl champions in Tampa. Flying high above is the Budweiser.com airship. Budweiser salutes football fans everywhere, and 1 year from now, football fans will be gathering way down yonder in New Orleans, side of Super Bowl 36. A reminder, 16 new castaways try to outwit, outplay, and outlast each other in Survivor. The Australian Outback just minutes away. Coming up next year on CBS as we welcome you back to the Wide Track Grand Prix Super Bowl Today post-game show. And next Sunday, the Pro Bowl from Honolulu. Check your local listings. All right, we welcome you back here to the pirate ship, and let's take one more look at the eye vision play that really kind of, well, just when the Giants thought they got back into it with their own kick return. Look at Jermaine Lewis right here.
Well, you can talk about Jermaine Lewis, but the guy that caught my eye was number 45, backup safety Corey Harris. He made two great blocks that put, you know, the Giants just scored and took it right back out of there.
I think, watching Jermaine Lewis in practice is deceptive, and I don't think players realize how quick he is when he makes a vertical and horizontal move. He's here and he's gone, and I think that's what got him off track on that.
And really, the reason this team won a World Championship is through the playoffs. They totally dominated, and they also scored in all phases of the football game. Offense, defense, special teams. Nobody else this season did it as well as the Baltimore Ravens.
Really strange. It was kind of hard to pick out